He's not Catholic. Is the craziest part. But he cares about the Pope, and he cares about Chicago, which you call a hellhole. And you're not allowed to use religious imagery unless it's him. Psalms for sale. You got some psalms for sale. $50 per psalm.
So this is my impersonation of Darren Bailey.
Yeah.
Hey, friends. I'm a pedophile cover-up artist just like the Chicago Pope. And, friends, what Donald Trump said about the Pope is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Wait, why are you jumping out of the camera?
You're recording that when you're calling
Who?
the Pope a pedophile.
Who?
There's no proof of that.
This is a comedy entertainment show.
I know, but just...
This is
you
Chicago
gotta be careful.
TMZ.
This is Chicago.
Okay, but
this is Chicago.
there were accusations.
This stuff is not a joke. You mess around.
There were accusations against Darren Bailey that he
said,
covered up
I know
for a pedophile.
You said the Chicago Pope.
He's the Pope from Chicago.
So Darren Bailey, I agree. You can make that statement. You said the Chicago Pope.
There's accusations that he covered up a pederasty.
Oh,
and
really?
that's why he got the Pope position. Why the fuck? Well, you think that guy's called? Like, just some random fucking guy from Chicago? Now he's involved in some shit.
No, but Darren Bailey for sure is involved in some shit. I mean, he has several, some friends he should be having.
Well, what was that guy's name? Because I'm going to bring it up tonight if he's there. I'm going to say, you cover up like the Pope. You're a pedophile cover-upper for this guy.
There's a couple.
Anyways. All right, well, thanks for coming on my podcast.
Kyle Shipman is who you're thinking of. Right?
Kyle Shipman.
That's what I think you're thinking of. But there's also Raven or Graven. There's like enough. It's like there are so many fucking so many effing dirt involved with the campaign that are just that should very questionable.
Okay,
Someone that's a good Christian.
Okay, this is the last thing. I created some
Imagine hiring a 16-year-old to be your driver body man. Bagman. That was so creepy.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is a fraud and a criminal. Reverse and socialism.
I spelled reparations wrong in the text.
Free buses for abortions from outer state.
We're ripping out those bike lanes. Let's go. I'm ripping them out. Just rip. Ripping out the bike lanes. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna rip out the bike lanes all the way from the south side to the north side to the south side, from western to California. Mayor John Kitover is gonna rip out the bike lanes and give you free parking.
She can have park. Trying to get everything going. She's Catholic. But she was Jewish. Brandon is the scam.
I like that. Yeah, good chorus. We gotta go.
Okay,
Gotta go.
We'll just leave him running.
Yeah, leave him running. This is a crazy setup.
I'll just look at Corvettes room. Never like to have dead air time.
And how Jesus contradicts himself. Michael was trying to illustrate that if Jesus is being honest and calling someone out, right? This isn't like a curse or anything like that. He actually believes that these people are acting that way. He isn't cursing them or saying anything ill to them or saying something that he doesn't believe. So it isn't like an insult. He's actually calling them out on their wicked ways. And he was trying to argue that Jesus was contradicting his own evaporated book. Yeah, I'm just finishing the live. I'm not lying. You was tricky. This is exactly what happened. You was trying to say that Jesus contradicts himself because he himself, when he repurposed, turned into other sheep. Let me give you an example. He called a group of people the den of vipers, right? And then thankfully Chicago church pointed it out. No, he was repeated with someone else. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is this, though. Right? Mike was trying to say that, look, he wasn't cursing anyone. He wasn't calling anyone out. You know, he wasn't saying anything about their name or anything like that. It's something he didn't believe. He was actually telling how you feel about the individuals. Right? And he was like, no, that's not true. Blah, 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 this, blah, 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 this. And then it got into like, hey, there were some people within this group of Pharisees who believed that Jesus was the Messiah. And he's like, ooh. That's why he's like, who are those authorities? And you said Nicodemus. And he threw it out there, and now the conversation went from, oh, were there some people, were there some Pharisees who believed that Jesus was the Messiah? And that's where you turned the conversation, because you did a little sneaky game. And no disrespect, the same thing was the motive. He's trying to pretend that people can't track the conversation. Listening, if you can, he just honest with talking. He can keep.
Alright, so are you done with the lines yet, or should I wait till who here?
All of the line. Just all of the line. When you're ready.
Great. Alright, so I'm not even going to really bother with any of that silly shit that you stated. So, what you understand is that what you're doing is exactly what you're claiming that I'm doing. So now, the conversation has from that statement to
Nathan, you are the glue.
Oh my God, there we go. Go right ahead, Dewey. Get it up.
It was a joke. Calm down. There's a rubber. You're just
Calm down. When you joke when Nathan is talking.
Because I was doing something with my hands, actually. You calm down. Keep going. You're the one that's distracting all of our position.
That's really funny.
Oh, now I'm going to focus on Mike, and now Mike distracted us in a focus. All right, now keep going, Mike. You stop crying.
Just let me know when you're done. I'm assuming you're done.
Peep.
All right. I expect that. So, that's what you niggas do. So, John 3 says this, Nathan. Said there was a man of the Pharisees, meaning he's of this Pharisaic group, named Nicodemus, a ruler. So that means he's probably not he's illiterate. I'm pretty sure he can read. It says a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night because he didn't want to come by day. There's a good reason for that. And said unto him, Rabbi. So he's calling Jesus Rabbi. The Pharisees, meaning not just himself, Nathan, you can read along with me if you can read. John 3 verses 1. To start there. We know that thou art a teacher come from God. We Pharisees know that you're a teacher that comes from God. Does he need to be in the room? Or is it already confirmed because they all been themselves? That they all came to this, a lot of them came to this conclusion that he's the guy that had came from God. Just read it real slow because I know you suffer from ADD. The man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God. For no man can do thy miracles that thou doest, except God be with him. Except God be with him. Nicodemus didn't have to be in a room. He didn't have to be in John 11, 48 and down. Because a lot of them, as I keep saying, already believed, but they had their own motives. Some wanted them dead. Some wanted him to just basically shut up, go away, please. Because he was taking their political power away, and their money, and their status away, by simply preaching opposite, opposing them. Some just outright hated him. And then some secretly really believed, but they had a social position. Quietly, they knew that he was really who he was, but they didn't want to disrespect their gang, their group that they're a part of. Their part of the heterosexual group, but at night you secretly go and hang out in the, in the trendy corners of society.
Well, you married for prison now? I thought that was consent.
Who was that? Samoa? Who was that? Who said that? Must be another nigga that's trying to get some attention.
Go ahead, bro.
Alright, thank you. Alright, so, the problem with what you're stating is this. The conversation, which by the way was not made by me, but the question was answered by me. When someone asks me a question, it's not my fault that they decided to take the conversation to another part, another issue of that they're dealing with. It has nothing to do with me. Don't call me a dishonest interlocutor simply because I answered the question that was asked of me. The only dishonest interlocutor, it would be you guys, because you failed to stay on task. If you wanted to ask me and continue having a back and forth about turning the other cheek, which I could have done all day, I really could have, then you should have kept it on there. But you allowed other people to ask me other questions about certain other things. Don't blame me, bitch ass nigga. Blame your daddy.
See? Let me tell you how this.
By your daddy, I mean the devil.
Okay, let me tell you how this is. He said, you know what, Nathan? I'm not even gonna express what you said. Just gonna talk about what I want to talk about. Like I said, the only reason why this conversation happened because he was getting called out on turning the other cheek. Right? He was trying to say that Jesus contradicts himself, and I can show you how Jesus contradicts himself. Look at Jesus. Jesus is cursing on people. Back in those days, calling these individuals a den of vipers is a curse word. Then Mike challenged it. Mike is like, listen, if I'm actually saying something like, hey, Brian, your breath is stink, when your breath is actually stink, I'm not talking bad about you. I'm just telling you the truth. Your breath is stink. So how am I not turning the cheek? Then afterwards, he was like, because then he was like, oh, you see the enemy vipers, questioning like, who are the people? These are the Pharisees. And then Jesus was the Messiah. No. Those individuals who was there, they did not believe that Jesus was the Messiah. So the question was that, hey, do the Pharisees believe that Jesus was the Messiah? And the Pharisees, what they were talking about specifically, was the Pharisees in that room who Jesus called in the temple, who Jesus called the devil, right? Those individuals. Instead of lying, because he wants to be dishonest, and he doesn't want to just concede that he is wrong, he said, okay, I'm going to throw the Pharisee. I'm going to throw Nicodemus. Nicodemus is one of these Pharisees. And then I just asked him, hey, Ryan, was Nicodemus in that room? I don't know. So why didn't he throw it out? Because he wants to change the argument. That's what type of person this dude is, man. You got to look out for these individuals, man. I said it earlier. You should know them by their fruits. Whenever Ryan is right, and you see them start bearing fruits, they are sour inside. They might look good, but when you take a bite of it, it's sour. Bad. Rotten. That's how it is, man. I'm just telling you, no matter what, you can't use no dang bleach. You can't use no jelly water. You can't clean all this inside, man. It's just dirty.
All right, so I take it now I take it you want to move the conversation back. Yeah, hold up. I take it now that you, Nathan, want to move the conversation back to the other cheek, right? That's all you have to say is yes, no. You didn't have to do all of the ad-hocs because you don't really have a position that you can argue against. I'm not a dishonest interlocutor. I'm the only honest person in the whole room. And that's really unfortunate. I'm sorry, not even you. It ain't you. You're close.
I'm not dishonest at all. I'm probably too honest.
I lie all the time.
I agree with that, Mike.
Thank you, Jessica.
You know that was the joke right there, right?
Never lie.
He's so honest.
Never lost.
So as it stands, if that's where you want to take the conversation, just say so.
I don't want to take the conversation. No, I don't want to take the conversation here.
So So when
Just
do you
talk
want to
about
go this
evidence.
conversation? So you just want to talk shit? Okay, well.
No, I wasn't talking. I was talking. Like, come on, bro. I wasn't talking crap. I was talking about what the conversation was yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, you the conversation of yesterday, and because
Yes.
listen, you brought up the conversation of, listen to yourself. You're bringing up today conversation yesterday about turning the other cheek. But today's conversation that Mike brought up was not about turning the other cheek. It was about the Pharisees.
Yes. But that conversation started from turning the other cheek.
Yeah, but right. But Mike, who asked a set of questions, wanted me to answer those questions. And then you.
Yeah, but those questions were based off of that, though.
I know they are. They led to that. But check this out.
No, I'm saying like.
He said that I was a dishonest. Listen to me clearly.
Yes.
I told you. Stop. This clown
He doesn't get why Nicodemus is dishonest.
Listen, he's saying that I'm the dishonest interlocutor. You, Mike, that posed the questions.
Yeah, so yesterday,
So wait
when
now.
Samoa tried to.
Am I the dishonest interlocutor?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Or is Nathan just a moron?
No, I mean, those are the two options, and then if those are the only two, then you say you're honest. Look, either you're dishonest.
You guys mind if I take my turn?
Look, it's either real quick, Samoa, and then I'll let you go. It's either you're dishonest or you don't get it. Look, Samoa, hold on. Samoa tried to help.
Oh my God. Look,
Bro, I already answered your question. I answered your question.
And then not.
I said if those are the only two options, then I would choose you were dishonest.
There's a third one.
Okay.
After hearing his answer, there's a third one.
Is Nathan a dumbass, or is it that he has an inability to, he's failing to hear the conversation?
I would say those are the three. Those are the three. Yeah, those are the three that you'd be. I would say the best answer is you're dishonest. And I don't think you are entirely dishonest, but I think you did play a little slippery in this yesterday. I'll explain to you why. Okay, I'll explain to you why. And I'm going to use Samoa's assistance to try to get you out as a method of doing so. Samoa, remember when you said you kind of used the silent is consent type terminology when we were referring to Nicodemus not speaking against those who spoke against Jesus, he remained silent?
Yeah, not speaking negatively about Christ in the public, yeah.
Correct. Amongst the Pharisees that were talking shit, he never said anything.
Yeah.
So then you had a position of a man that held a position that Jesus was sent from God, but never revealed that, but also never like outwardly said anything so the Pharisees would know, right?
Yep.
Right. Okay, hold on, I'm almost done. So my challenge question to you was this line. This is where it gets back to what Nathan. This is where it gets. I'm telling you right now. Look, you can decide if it was dishonest or not. Look, when I said show me where someone both believed that Jesus was the Messiah and also spoke against him, right?
Right.
You pointed out to Nicodemus. Now, you have two. Oh my God! Where is this? All right. Okay, now.
Mike, do you remember when you started crying? Because I kept interrupting all those many times. Mike never finished.
Let me just finish this and I'll go on mute. Look, let me finish this and I'll go on mute and you can say whatever you want. Look.
Hey, remember I'm
No, I'm saying. Oh, sorry. And then Samoa will go on and.
Am I allowed to answer him, or I'm supposed to sit there and continue to take
Samoa can decide that. Let me just finish.
That's what happens in these conversations, Lion.
Wait, I'm going to a bad reception. Hold on. Okay, so look. Now watch. Two criteria needs to be fulfilled for this prophecy to take place. One, the person has to believe he's the Messiah. Two, the person has to be demonstrated to have shown that he outwardly spoke against Jesus as the Messiah. That's what I asked you to demonstrate. Now you yesterday, right? You referenced Nicodemus in response to that question. Okay? And that's why Samoa is saying, hey, look, bro, Nicodemus basically didn't say anything. Okay, anyways, I'm done. Go ahead. Samal, you can say what you... Okay, Samal's on the phone, so you can go ahead and go.
All right, Mike, I didn't. You asked two distinct questions. This is where the dishonesty comes from here, right here in the moment. You asked two different questions.
Or one question with two parts.
This is what I'm doing. The first question you asked was that.
All right, I'm next.
You said who out of the Pharisees believed in Jesus, but didn't outwardly say it? That's Nicodemus. Who of the Pharisees believed in Jesus and talked shit about him? That's John 11. Caiaphas. Two different questions. Now, who's the dishonest interlocutor?
You. No,
I only asked you one question.
God, you niggas are crazy.
I only asked you one question.
No, it was both. It was in reverse. But let me just pump this out again, right? Like, I think the problem here, and this is what I got a problem with lying is, right? When you look at Isaiah 53, that you interpret like the serpent as being like the nation of Israel, not an actual person. So if this Jewish person that's like in John, because they don't believe in the Gospels, right? If this Jewish person is the Pharisee and is consistent to them believing that this prophecy is of a nation, then you read verse 51 again, it totally makes sense that they need to sacrifice this dude for the greater part of the nation, fulfilling the prophecy in Isaiah 53. Because Lion is not applying that interpretation to the Jews of the old, we're confused. Because it seems like a whole bunch of freaking Pharisees are like, nigga, we know you the guy, and we know the Most High strike us, but we're going to do it anyways. What? How does that make any sense? That's crazy work, bro. Crazy
All
work.
right, so now we'll move. Wait, now check this out.
So what you just ended with, Samoa, is what I was thinking the whole time.
That's what I was trying to tell you. I was like, oh.
Sure you weren't.
I was thinking yesterday, and then
That was
today.
my original, like, what, confusion. That was my answer. I was like, wait, how does this make sense, bro?
Because you don't understand the scripture. All right, so
It's your fault.
no, it's not. It's your own fault for lack of study.
That's what I said.
So,
Yeah, Nathan was
all right,
mocking you when you said that, and you agreed with it.
I don't give a fuck. Shut up. Look, so here's the issue here. You're moving on. Let's stop the conversation. Let's pay attention to what just happened just now. So you stated I was a dishonest interlocutor, and the reason was because of your statement when you asked about who was the one that believed and didn't do so. And you said you went immediately to Nicodemus in John 3, right? And said that that's all I said. That's the dishonest. Oh, you dishonest, Mike? I wanna think that maybe you forgot some pieces of information, and the one you mainly held on to or locked on to was this part right here. But you obviously failed to remember that I also I attempted 9 times, and I even read John 11 to the entire room in that moment to explain to you that there was a whole group of Pharisees that either believed and didn't believe, and they also wanted his ass dead. And at the end of that, today, I had King, one of your buddies, your Nigerian brother from another mother, the exact same scripture. Then after that, one of your other buddies, the pervert, Jacobus, mentioned the exact same scripture. They did these things. The problem is, I got a bitch nigga named Nathan. Niggas that just don't like lying. That's all this is. And I say,
Oh, sorry. I thought, he got a call. Hey, Samoa, you know what I never was not in my bingo card? When was that, bro? You know what was not on my thing? Yeah, that we blockaded the blockade. We know reversed the blockade. That wasn't
Look, the thing is that the whole point of me asking that question was, and this is where it comes to where Nathan is explaining the origin of the point, was because my argument, your motivation to speak against someone is to not harm, but to describe. You're not insulting them, right? And then what I meant by that is, show me somebody that believed this. Show me somebody that would talk shit about was the Messiah, because I was saying the Jewish authorities are saying this guy's fucking talking shit, and they really believed it.
Right.
And he's like, no. And then I was like, well, okay, fine then. Show me somebody. Show me where the Jewish authorities both believed he was the Messiah, but also spoke against him, because then that would harm. It would be the motivation to insult, which is the whole thing I was talking about. I wouldn't say, show me someone that believed he was the Messiah but didn't say anything. That's a non-contributing point to the point I was trying to make. My point was to say, look, in order to call it an insult, the motivation has to be to talk about Jesus and the snake. He's not saying that to insult them. He's saying that to describe their nature, right? Which is a truthful thing that he holds to be true. He's tripping. It's wrong.
I got a question.
Somebody said to lock him up? Oh, he's
No, that was going first.
No,
I'm just playing.
I had to throw it in there. I had to throw it in there.
Yeah, go ahead, Culture Christian.
I don't know why. That's not even that funny. There's a few things. One,
My bad. Jeez.
if anybody knows what the latest and
Wait,
greatest
dude, are you a conservative?
conservative. Do you mean like a religious conservative, or do you mean like what do you mean?
Like your political leanings? Where do you land?
I'm still registered as a Democrat, but I have not voted.
It's still like, you know.
Not really. You might. Thanks, right.
Oh, thank you, sir.
No, here's what I want to say real quick. And this has nothing to do with Dewey. Dewey just reminded me, right? Anytime I've heard this question asked, hey, do you consider yourself a Democrat or Republican? No one ever answers it. They always say, oh, well, I'm center this, I'm center that. If there was a war, who would you side with? Who would you shoot at? You have to pick. None of this like, I'm fucking refined, so I can't pick. Who are you going to shoot at? That's what I want to know.
Listen, I think it's.
And you know what it would be?
I'd probably be a spy.
I think people's reluctance to say like, yeah,
I'm glad you appreciate it, but like where I live,
reluctance, like just like one side, and then we have a bunch of these centrists that aren't really fucking centrists at all, but that like want to be centrist and they want to like wear the like fucking mask of centrism, but they like lean one way. But it's hard, it's nastier to say I'm a Democrat because you have to take all that stuff that comes, all the negative. You have to like agree with tranny stuff that people might be like, oh, that's weird. You have to just like to say that I'm on this party, like. People just like cast like aspersions about you, and they like say, oh, they feel like they understand your whole political identity based on just like claiming that, and it's not that deep. Like for the most part, like you either agree, especially like now, like candidates have been.
I won't finish that. I don't
know if you caught the last part. I said I think it's kind of weird because a lot of the things you said
I don't like that shit.
match with like voting Trump big time.
Right, and why? Because now what do I have to defend as a result of that? What do you think of me now? What associations am I now tied to because of that? For you?
Because you voted for Trump. You believe.
Wait. I want to hear an answer.
Well, I believe if you think believe in freedom of speech and
So I'm a fascist, is what you're gonna say?
No, dog. I think this.
They stopped that Jewish outfit, man.
What are you talking about?
If you believe like in freedom, you're pro 2A, like it just seems like Donald Trump wouldn't be your vote. Like he's actually one modern president actually put like gold gun control. He's like with those bump stocks.
You can't bring guns to protest. You can't bring guns to protest. Remember after that nurse got shot, you can't bring guns to protest.
No, but I'm just saying, like Donald Trump actually he imposed gun legislation that like ban modifications on guns. Like that's not very 2A. You know that the bump stock ban.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
Yeah, it's like huge. Like the gun community, like a lot of Trump supporters felt betrayed about that.
Don't run, line.
But what was that?
No, you said a lot of Trump supporters were offended. I'm telling you.
They felt betrayed. They got in here. It's like the rights, like that's like one of the that's like a policy position. Like if you're on the right, you're like most likely pro 2A. And like Donnie T dropped the ball on that.
He dropped the ball on everything he promised. Oh my goodness. Hey, Lion. So you do have to.
Am I wrong with this?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were kind of like, they were like, bro, we don't want no regulations. And he said, hey, now I'm gonna compromise right here. So they were a little disenfranchised at the moment. But let me just say this line real quick. Lion, do you have to be able to address the interpretation of the Jewish or the Judaism framework of?
We can't do that.
I'm just letting him know they can do this later. Yes, the servant is not one.
This is a way better conversation.
I just we're not going to go for it.
We're moving forward.
Yeah, we are moving forward. I'm just letting him know that.
Conversation we had like 30
I
minutes.
just said no.
You mean the conversation was on for 2 days?
I just said no. He asked me what. I'm just addressing. We could bring
know
this
this ain't
later.
gonna be quick. This ain't gonna be quick. You know.
Okay,
So this is the conversation that you guys having
what?
stuff.
No. Just so let's see how long this actually takes to see how right Finley is, right? So later on, Lion, if you can address how the Jews, I guess, interpret who the servant is in Isaiah 53. They believe it's the nation of Israel, and you said this. I just said in the what the. Hey, bro, if I'm talking to him something totally different than Spike and Nathan, then we're not talking about the same thing, right, bro?
Yeah. Conversation about politics.
We'll talk about it later, bro.
We only have to do that. Just hit me in a whatever it is, like a special or back room or something like that. I'll just tell you really simple. We can read over it together, so you won't look foolish anymore. We can do that right now.
Let's talk about politics, bro. Hey, look at that, man. You see how fast that was? Only
because Lion yielded. Only because Lion offered a reasonable compromise. Lion said, let me not smack you around in front of these people. Let me take you on back here in the back. Let's have a
Oh, so you
conversation.
didn't hear the part where Samoa said, "Let me know later."
Let me take it.
You see what I mean, bro?
He said, let me take you behind the woodshed. So you ain't gotta, be them friends. That's what just happened, fam.
Yeah, but I think Trump, obviously, like when it comes to like the Second Amendment thing that Louis talking about, as far as like the gripe, I think that he overperformed as far as like acknowledging like where he's wrong.
It goes around.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the examples, right? I'm gonna give you the examples. So, do you think that Venezuela would top like the bum stocks?
Okay.
Do you think that the tax returns that people are getting today, $2,000,
Which people?
or is like
Which people?
are you talking? I'm just going down these points so we don't get bogged down in the conversation.
Are you talking about the silver lining? Do you know the silver lining? Because the tax returns don't offset the medical premiums. Are you saying?
You see what I mean, bro? This is horrible. This is what I'm saying, Louis, just so nobody's confused. I'm saying that when we're looking at the performance of a president, we weigh out certain things. Some things that we prioritize over other things. So I say, Second Amendment, bump stock people, first term. Second term, where he said, well, obviously everybody voted him in, right? 79 million or whatever, right? So everybody kind of like went to the second term. In the second term, our big beautiful, everybody gets all of this money as far as terms, and then you get the Trump account where they match $1,000 per child. Okay?
I'm not even in case.
Well, because you don't know about any of these.
No, because you're a fucking bullshitter, bro.
No, he's trying to point out that the gun thing was a nitpick.
No, what? All right, well,
It is if you put it in context of everything.
Thank you.
You sort of said, like, how could you vote for Trump when he did this one thing? And it's sort of like, well, nobody votes for one thing. They're voting for a person who's going to have to make a lot of different decisions.
There you go. There you go.
And that's what Samoa was trying to say.
He brought up the shield.
Average tax return has a crazy
Thank
you very much, Louis. I'm really glad that you're a genuine interlocutor. They're pretty cool.
The average tax return for he's motivated to agree with you because he gets the.
So you don't think I'm a genuine locker room, Louis?
No, I
Thank you.
don't think you're being. No, I don't think.
Wow.
And why not? Why not, Louis? Is it because maybe association? Maybe because of political affiliation? I assume it can't be good.
Talk over the answer. Cool.
Well, you did respond to him when he asked you.
Because
it was
your vote. Well, let me say this. He did ask you because he was going to answer his opinions on why you're Trump voter. You went right to fascism.
No, that wasn't. No, because he interrupted the question or the point that I was trying to make, and because he said I don't like when people associate me
first. Yeah, sure, bro. That.
And I'm the locker guy.
You absolutely are. Yes.
Here was because I'll tell you the conversation. We were talking about how there's problems on one side and from the other. And then you started saying how you don't like being associated with some of the weirder parts on one side. And then you have, trying to defend certain things that you don't actually believe. I started saying, yeah. Your response was, no, I just don't think you like the policies, and then you started talking about policies. That's not the same conversation. You understand?
Yeah, the conversation I was saying.
That was literally the flow of the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard Louis say he doesn't want to have to defend those stupid wackos over there on the left.
Right, and I started saying, why should I have to defend wackos on the right? And instead of engaging with that, he said, I don't think you should vote for him because of this gun policy.
You're fucking actually, this is actually nasty. But I think I'm seeing what fucking,
Go ahead, say, what do you think of me now that after you're proving my point?
Hey man,
You make weird associations about me.
Real quick, I needed to take a beat. Dishonesty really triggers me and gets me told.
What is dishonest?
That's okay, that's okay. What's it called? I said, it's funny to me that you voted for Donald Trump because the answers to your questions about, like, where you land politically, where your political beliefs don't really sound like they comport with, like, someone who votes for Donald Trump. You said, why is that? And I gave you a couple policy positions that's just...
You gave one, which was guns, but that wasn't the flow of the
No, I gave
conversation.
two. I said freedom of speech.
Oh, freedom of speech, right.
Did I not say that?
No, you did for a second. You're right.
Okay. So
Look how genuine I can be.
I'm willing to list a couple more, but I just named a couple, and I just kind of went into just one. I wasn't even letting you get to free speech yet. But and then Samoa came in to fucking talk about the rabbi shit.
Right, then we got fucking...
He cut right in the middle in my fucking submission trying to talk about it. It's like, I'm like, yo, dog, can we not do that? And you're like, oh no, I'm not gonna do it. And then Biden just lied about, bro, the fucking. And then
I went right back to your point. I addressed your bump stocks and how people.
It killed the steam of the conversation, and I was making a point. And
you think I interrupted you?
And you made this like stupid convoluted point that said, like, if you're pro 2A, then you are against bump stocks. Bump stock ban. That's just
that's not true at all. What the hell?
Yeah, that's like most talk to it. Once you start getting into gun modification regulation, then there's like, that's a slippery slope, right? That's why the 2A community is like really weird. That's why the 2A community was really weary of that decision. But it's like,
why do you think they reelected him?
Fine, whatever. Okay, can we move to?
No, I'm not saying that. Like, he used that. I wouldn't use that wording. What I'm saying is that something justified the vote to move into Trump's, category as far as it being the second term, where something outweighed that, right? Because like overwhelmingly, like that thing I was voting for. So then I started pointing out policies that people could find some more value than that.
Basically, all Samoa is saying is nobody, including myself, or not nobody, very few people, I think, are single issue voters. Or at least I'm not a single.
That's fine.
I voted for this nigga to blow up Iran. What the hell? That's my only damn issue.
I actually do think that the Abraham Accords from the first term was one of the reasons I was like, oh shit, like everything got kind of turned over in a positive way. And I think, again, in terms of international geopolitics, I mean, we'll see. I still think the cards are up in the air. But he's certainly going to be one of the most consequential, right? Whether or not it works out, we'll see. If it works out, it'll work out great, and if it doesn't, it'll be bad. But he's going to be one of the more consequential geopolitical presidents for a while.
Yeah, the only way that I see this going negative for him right now is if it escalates. Like if it goes back to bombing and it goes back to like closing up the Strait of Hormuz and it goes to
it looks like
to dig up a whole bunch of
it looks like
spy satellites and all these things, and you're like, okay, you dummy, what the freak is this? Right? Like that's how I would look at it. Like right where it is right now, it looks like it's swinging to his like favor right now.
May have been the final sort of like thing, because the Strait of Hormuz was their trump card, and if we're like, fuck it, we're gonna there, it might de-escalate from here.
We need time, guys. We need time. We need really to determine or foresee.
Yeah,
I
agree.
It's.
So what do you think about the Pakistani representatives that facilitated the negotiations in Pakistan, in Iran today? Because what I pulled from that, and a couple of people reported on this, was that the reason why this person would have to make that trip is because he needs to speak to the guy.
Bro, the thing is, Samoa, there's so many moving pieces, right? Like, for instance, a little thing like the Pakistani representative didn't wear a Western tie. And people are like, oh, because he didn't have a tie on, he's actually biased towards the Iranians. And then there's bigger people. Oh, Benjamin Netanyahu keeps saying, look, we're going to do we're not tied up to this shit, like we're our own thing. Pakistan doesn't even recognize Israel as a country. Like, for all intents and purposes, the ceasefire talk is a joke to me. I look at this as both sides are using this as an opportunity to assess their damage, redeploy more troops, resupply their men, and stuff like that, bro. We stuck our dick into a fucking tar pit, and we're trying to clean it off real quick, and it's not gonna work, bro.
So you're saying right now that when you look at the Iranian, if you believe like what the economic strife is that they're in at this very moment, as far as not being able to pay soldiers and all these types of things, I think they said in the last 3 days they lost like $1.6 billion in revenue, right? You're thinking that they could sustain that type of that type of environment while allowing 90 million people going through this like civil unrest to just calm them down?
Yes, absolutely. Especially if Russia and China supply help, which they are in different ways. And also keep in mind, bro, these aren't like soldiers that became soldiers to go to college for free. Like, these are people who will fucking die for their cause, bro.
No, I totally understand.
Not like, oh shit, it's Iran, I'm gonna ounce the fucking Utah. And
right, so I understand, I understand how people are going to respond with external threats, right? But what happens when there's an internal one?
Look, keep in mind, Samoa, you're the same person who said the regime killed 30 to 40,000 innocent people for Palestine. Okay. Okay, you've never said that?
No!
So, okay. There's people who say this regime killed 30 to 80,000 innocent protesters. So if that regime is still, what makes they won't kill 2 to 3 million people? Or like 20 million people.
So there's a difference between people responding when they feel like, hey, I can't get my favorite cereal, then another where massive amounts of, like let's say the number you're using, where 3 million people are moving because their lights aren't on, or that they don't have air conditioner, or there's no food on the actual shelf. So there's a difference between the temperature of when they had it and when they don't have it. That's something that the clock obviously is like placing on the Iranians to address the internal and the external potential threats. They got to factor that in. Look at what happened with 2020 here. We were obviously like overwhelmed when people were like burning a whole bunch of shit down, and the law enforcement was like, let me just move out of the way. And I'm saying that, hey, they might have killed whatever number you said. I think they said 3,000. I think a whole bunch of people like to add shit, so they said 80,000.
Our president said 42,000. I mean, he's got that. Why would he lie? Why would he lie?
The point I'm making is it really doesn't matter what the number is because the environment isn't the same for you to be able to compare them. If you were to say, hey, this is the exact same environment that was there, and they have paychecks and they had.
So it's never going to be the exact same environment. My point in comparing the two is to show the character of the regime.
Look, the final point is, and I think Samal would agree with this, and I've said this before, like, the cards are still in the air. The cards are still in the air. Nobody knows what the fuck is, like I said, when
are you saying that the Iranian IRGC or whoever the hell these people are
are not behind their head, or like rolling their eyes behind their head to look at their own citizens that are going to have like this civil unrest pretty soon?
I'm sure they are, but I think that like for them, this is an existential like they
Yes.
so if it is existential,
The IRGC.
right? And I'm talking about the people with all the weapons. Yes.
Yeah, those guys. Okay. Yes. Then when the lights go off and these people start putting their arms down because they don't have no paychecks to feed their little children,
To Oleg's point, that might not be the thing.
Yeah, you're not listening, bro.
So.
Well, the military elite is always going to have food, brother. Their families are not going to starve, brother. It's the random poor people. It's the poor people that are going to die, and they don't care about them.
So Oleg is saying that the IRGC, regardless, because they're such a prideful people, they're going to go to the very depths regardless of the situation. I'm saying that the civilian population is going to add another variable of stress on top of that for them to be able to defend that. Then Oleg counters and says, well, they'll just kill them all. And then I'm saying, oh shit, they're just going to kill 7 to 9 to 15 people when these are their actual family members. Now, you can kill 30 to 50,000 people and just wipe them away. You got a population of 93 million. But if you're saying that now the military, or like they're not having any type of dissent in the military, or they're starting to fracture, that just doesn't factor into like what actually happens when you have no light or no food. The whole thing changes.
Look, bro, I asked you to do a hypothetical in your mind. I said, given the fact that you, and then you said I didn't say it. Okay, given the fact that the president of the United States said this regime killed 42,000 innocent people, I said,
Not a humanitarian, you're going to get that
if that's true, if they were unarmed and just standing there and saying, please give us freedom, and they're like, Brad, what makes you think they won't kill 400,000 people? What makes you think they won't allow 4 million people to start? It's just a hypothetical that I said to show you that either the regime is not as extreme and retarded as people are portraying them to be, in which case you're going to be right, or B, they're actually batshit crazy, even more crazy than the North Koreans, and they'd rather have their country go in flames than surrender. That's what I'm saying.
Or C, the civil unrest wasn't to the temperature of retreating. So then when you factor in, let's say, 4 million, and they're all moving forward and nobody's retreating, the IRGC has to make a different decision at this time. Right? So, like, what I'm talking about is the result of in this hypothetical, the result of the blockade being effective. If the blockade is carrying over every single month $13 billion, and then they're hemorrhaging, their banking system's all broken down, no more food exports or imports.
Is it 13 or 1.3? You said 1.3 earlier.
Yeah, that was in the last 3 days. 13 billion a month is the estimation.
Okay.
Right. So anyways, the point I'm making is that hey, they might have been able to do this when things were good. How is the civil or the civilians? I'm not talking about like the IRGC. They can only respond to what they respond to. How do the civilians respond when you turn the temperature from 70 to 110? How do they respond? Are they going to retreat and run away when one person gets shot?
Well, that's the benefit of having a Second Amendment, bro. In Iran, the random villagers have fucking muskets from 1934, bro. So if you think they can mount an actual reasonable opposition to the IRGC, you have no idea what you're talking about, brother.
Yeah, that's not what I said.
This isn't Black Lives Matter protesting in Seattle with American police letting them burn the city.
Yeah, that's not what I said. Like, what I said is just the overwhelming the population with civil unrest as far as something that they can contain, while they're trying to battle 6 other fires that are on the external parameters of their actual country. So there's a lot of turmoil that they're going to have internally. All I'm saying is you can be prideful and all that, and you're addressing the Americans and the Israelis that are outside of your border. But then if you have to look over your shoulder, now you're actually being attacked from both sides. When you use the example of when they were okay and they had all the ballistic missiles and all the confidence in the world, you can see why people were willing to retreat, because they were like, bro, cost analysis here, risk reward, this isn't worth it, I'm out of here. But when you have nothing, that calculation clearly is different. And that's the only point I'm making.
I hear you, bro. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's what I said. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if they let 2 million people starve.
Like, it's literally not a big deal for a lot of people, brother.
Wait,
You think Putin cares if 2 million Russians die? No,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised with anything that happens here. I'm saying that this is just an added threat that Iran, in this economic, calamity, is going to have to address. And something's motivating them to get to the table. I don't know what it is, but something is motivating
I
them to find an
told you, both sides benefit from this because it gives them time to assess their damage, redeploy troops, realign assets, and things of that nature. It happens in a lot of wars.
All right, so America is able to kind of like restock, reinvest, recalculate. You're saying that Iran, while they're digging up all of like the tunnels and all of the things.
You saw the satellite photos, right? They're literally doing that as we speak.
Yeah, that's the point that I'm making. Yeah, so they're trying to like dig things up. They're trying to like get back on their feet. And what I'm saying is that I think the blockade serves 2 purposes. So that you can monitor like what assistance that they're getting from outside, it being of China, seeing the back and forth as far as like their statement, the Donald Trump statement, as far as like he's going to give them a bit, and that they're not going to provide weapons and all these types of things. Where China like says, hey man, America's like doing a really good thing when it comes to like opening up the Strait of Hormuz, but then says, hey, nobody speaks on our issues, right? So like they're taking a position that's kind of even keel. Donald Trump took a more dramatic position by saying China is on our side, not on Iran's side. Which is playing like these psychological games.
Yeah, didn't you say I spoke to China, blah blah, and then the Chinese people said we never talked to them?
No.
Why?
Yeah, but then hold on. But then toward the end of the statement, they say that they applaud America for doing like this thing with the Strait of Hormuz, right? So it's kind of like officially we're going to say we never spoke to you because of the amount of tension that's going to cause between them and Iran. But at the end of it, they do offer like some sort of a compliment of America opening up the Strait of Hormuz being for like commerce or like maritime, right? So like if you're taking from that they never spoke, I think that they have spoke, and that was the most politically calculated statement that China was able to offer.
Bro, I'm just monitoring our president's tweets. To me, it's very obvious he's neurotic. He's impulsive, and he's losing control, bro. He's not in a good place. Do you know when he was in a good place? When he drone struck Soleimani. And you know what he did? All he did was post a picture of the American flag, brother. No need for a fucking rant, 3,000-word tweet explaining that CNN gave me 100%. Like, never post a fucking flag. We'll know when you're winning. You don't need to give me words. Post the fucking flag.
Yeah, but I don't
Post
think
the flag, brother.
Yeah, but I don't think that's for you, Oleg. I think the flag is for us here in the country. But those posts are for the Pakistanis, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the Saudi Arabians, the EU, the NATO alliances, or whatever this is. These tweets are all like directed to certain groups of people, and they need to be able to drive, hey, I'm hella fucking crazy. No, I'm really, really calm. Hey, I'm fucking really crazy. And then everybody's sitting back like, bro, this isn't the way that we're supposed to like engage. What the fuck? What's this guy talking about? Is he fucking serious? Right? Like, this is how you keep people like off keel. And whenever I'm looking at his post, I believe that I know when he's talking to us and when he's talking to us. Right? So, like, for example, he makes this statement and then the stock market gets fucked up. He says, we're going to block Hormuz. Well, let me just point this out. We're going to block the Strait of Hormuz. Stock market gets fucked up. Here goes Central Command. What we're actually going to do is this. Stock market goes in the other direction immediately. Right? We're trying to interpret, like, what the fuck he means because he's not clear when he can. And when I'm saying that, hey, directed to the Iranians, hey, this is directed to the Chinese, this is directed for the UK or Germany or Spain, people are like, no, he's talking to us. All right. Obviously, people aren't paying attention as you and I, Oleg, or people that really want to stay on, like, being offensive. People just try to hear what other people think that somebody's saying. And I'm thinking that we're going to be a hell of a lot more right than we are wrong.
I just don't like his style, brother. I hear what you're saying.
I can tell.
Like, never mind the healer fucking meme with soldier in the clouds turning into a demon or some sort of angel. It's either an archangel or a demon. I don't know. And then Monica came in today and she had the original post that some other dude posted, but the soldiers didn't have the wings. It's these little things. It's like, bro, what are you doing? We're in the middle of a fucking war, bro. Like, lay off the Pope, bro. But like,
What do you think Iran's doing when they're having the battle of memes? Like when they're saying,
their Lego memes are fucking fire, bro.
He doesn't even register like what you just said. Like, why are we attacking?
oh my gosh.
The Lego memes are fire, bro.
All right, watch this. Oh yes, but let me just point out like the reason why I'm showing you this here, right? There are two people playing the meme game. Trump and then them responding. Trump saying, open up the Strait of Hormuz. Them responding by saying we lost the keys, right? So they're engaged in this back and forth. What we're doing is criticizing our side for playing the game, but then when we look at them, we're like, oh my God, that shit is fucking hell entertaining. Yeah, that's just the shit right there. But they're both playing the game. Why are we only criticizing our side? Because there's this expectation of efficacy on how we believe that our president should be conducting themselves? That shit is crazy.
We should be making way better memes. We should be making better memes, better videos.
Oh, now you want him to up his meme game?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What is he? He's posting himself as Jesus. And you know what pissed me off? He should have had the balls to say, yeah, I posted myself as Jesus. What? You didn't find it funny? Fuck you. Fuck the Pope. Fuck Catholicism. I'm the man. I'm in the middle of a fucking war.
That's not even how he feels.
I wasn't Jesus. I was a Hitler. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, that was a good Oleg right here, bro.
Let me ask you a question, Simone.
You got to get your bro.
Do you believe that Donald Trump believes that was a picture of him, like, superimposed as a doctor? Do you believe that he believes that?
Yeah, I don't really. To me personally, let's say that he believes that he was like poking fun and he was Jesus. Just like the level he put to that.
Yes, with like all these
Well, I'm just saying that maybe, but I just don't fucking care, right? Like I'm an outcome contingent type person.
That's crazy because that's the closest.
Bro, you guys have an expectation of how our president is supposed to fight, and I'm telling you that there's certain styles that people.
It's not expectation. It's preference.
Hold on. But yeah, I'm saying that right now, right? Styles make fights. There's certain things that people look at and they're like, no, this motherfucker's boring, but he's 50-0, right? Would you rather have the 50-0, or would you rather have people saying, hey man, can you fight different? Can you throw more punches? Can you stand there so the guy can hit you? And then he's looking at you like, 50-0? Fuck your 50-0. We want to be entertained. Come on, this is like weird stuff. This guy does it the way he does it. You got people right now, and I feel this way right now, regardless if it's Trump or not. I don't believe that the Pope, the prophet of the Mormon Church, or any actual like religious leader should expect some sort of like immunity when it comes to criticism when they step out of their lane. Especially when these people are supposed to be like so godly. When obviously
we're directly within their lane when they talking about world peace and
no.
Absolutely.
All right, so like before he's the Pope, he's criticizing actual policy of the United States of America.
He's criticizing war. He's criticizing
immigration.
Warmongering.
No, hold on. So like before he became the Pope, it's immigration.
If you'd like to say immigration, no, it's the main way in which ICE and the Department of Homeland Security was conducting operations. Let's be honest.
That sounds like immigration.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that sounds like immigration.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, bro. What the fuck is this?
Department of Homeland Security was conducting their immigration. What's that called?
Pope, before he was the Pope, criticized the immigration. So, what's the problem? All right, cool. So, like, now he's the Pope, okay? So, as the Pope, what you need to do is, like, think about how everybody's kind of looking at you for the spiritual guidance and, like, where you are infallible and where you are fallible.
If he steps out of the
even the criticisms of VHS, how does that fall outside of his like something that he can talk about? Using humanity, that's what the Pope fucking does.
Fuck. All right, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. What are you saying?
I think a lot of Catholics will tell you with their history that Jesus was not a pacifist. That in certain circumstances, the sword, and not a metaphoric one that cuts up metaphoric apples, is actually to be used. And when he comes out and he starts criticizing, this open border policy, or this closed border policy, right? Saying it's unhumane or whatever this is, right? What he's actually doing is superseding the authority of the United States of America, where there's supposed to be this separation of religion and state. So then, as an American in the state domain, I'm gonna say, "But the freak out, bro! Speak to your people over there. Stop criticizing and making everybody believe that America's evil." Is that a hard request to make? And if you make that request, all of a sudden you're being blasphemous to the guy? You're like, come on, what the hell is this, bro? You can't speak your mind in America? You can't be like, I'm not even a Catholic, but I still gotta be quiet? What type of stuff is that? I thought this was Nazi Germany? I thought this was America. Are we in North Korea? Louis? We can't speak what we want to speak about because somebody has the cloak of femininity or femininity. Everybody knows who the hell he is. Immunity? So he's beyond reproach.
Pope Francis was critical of Trump's border wall.
Trump's new announcement that he just did?
Pope Leo the 14th, he criticized the what is it again? Stuff in Venezuela.
Bro, Trump made this statement. Do you believe it, Louis? Trump said that they purposely got this American guy to be the Pope so that he can influence Trump's policy.
That's stupid.
Sounds right to me.
Sounds right that the
I'm honestly joking, bro. Come on, man.
It's not obvious, actually. It's just not obvious. Yeah, you never were talking. What is it again?
Yeah, the guy that his fucking name is Matt.
Get your own inside joke, dude. You're retarded.
So Trump announced that there's going to be a tax cut, right?
Uh-huh.
And the tax cut is that we're going to have to look. Okay, so let me just.
Man, let me look at this before I get this fake.
Yes. Read directly what it is. All right. It's So basically, the gist of it, from what I'm understanding, right, and for the most part, not some special person works in a special field, and it's going to be that you're not going to have to pay a tax on the income, but it's not going to be deducted from your taxable income at the end of the year. So they're not going to take it away now; they're just going to take it away at the end of the year. It's basically what it is being called a tax cut. It's saying they're removing the pay-G tax withholding. That does not reduce the taxable income. It only delays at the end of each financial year. The tax effect is zero. This is not a tax cut. I don't get why Trump is calling this a tax cut. So here's also what's happening simultaneously. The AR market bubble is popping, right? It is happening. Anthropics is announcing that it's going to be based on usage. People don't understand that when you get ChatGPT, when you get Claude, you're actually getting Claude and all this stuff they're losing money on it, right? They're losing money, especially for the power users. They're losing money on it, right? Or the Iran has kind of sped this up. Now Trump's an tax cut, which really is, we're not going to take money at the end of the week out of your check, but you got to do that. And it still doesn't take away from the total income. Yeah, I don't know. This just seems that he's trying to do anything, a very populist move for the midterms, bro. This is bad, bro. This is bad. The economy's gonna tank, guys. The economy's gonna tank.
I actually thought Nathan had something good.
What? She just made the announcement. You know what?
want.
I'll tell you
I'm
this.
gonna go back to watching the market.
Hey, let me tell you, Buzz News.
Maybe keeps on doing the meta. I'm gonna go into like a non-meta room.
I was gonna say, Buzz News checking.
So, did you see the Pakistani dudes command a steak piles?
Like, does the Armenian army have a silly little, how Pakistan and India go high stepping at each other?
No, we don't do any of that nonsense. The Greeks have they wear the little skirts with the boots and do the side step and shit. Yeah.
That's why you come off mute line. You can go hang off you.
Yeah, we're just constantly getting invaded and killed by the Turks and Azeris. That's what we do. We don't have time to make up dances.
Wait, so you like the Kurds steal the guns? You want the Kurds to have the guns, all right?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck about the Kurds.
Oh, so you just let the Turks and Kurds go at each other?
I mean, I can't stop them. The Kurds more than they hate the Armenians, bro. More than they hate the Aiks. The Turks will never be peaceful with the Kurds. And vice versa.
Hello? Hello? Oh, is all the bullshit over?
Yeah, we're at a ceasefire.
I'll go after Lion.
Hell no! You know what happened, bro? Is that Oleg wanted us to believe that these IRGC people are so crazy that they're gonna kill 60 million people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nobody cares. Yo,
70 million
does anyone
people.
have HBO Max here? Does anyone have
80 million people.
Does anyone have HBO?
I do.
Where does it
Okay.
start?
Are you watching DTF St. Louis?
Let me put
What is DTF St. Louis? You gotta watch it. What's it called? Patrick Bateman's in. Jason Bateman or Patrick Bateman? No, you're right. I was gonna say, because I don't know what Patrick Bateman is, but it's. No, you're right. Patrick Bateman, fuck you, and you knew that I fucked up, and you tried to embarrass me, and I'm embarrassed. Fuck you, Tim. Fuck you, and the Patriots are getting fuck you. But yes, it is Jason Bateman. No, yeah, no, this is about a guy. I agree with you. But that, it's a kind of murder mystery kind of movie. Show. You didn't see Carry On? It's a show. I don't know what that is. Damn, you didn't see Carry On? What's Carry On? The Jason Bateman. It's like a Christmas. Okay, it's a Christmas movie on the same level Die Hard is. You didn't see the Jason Bateman movie with the dude from Kingsman? Kingsman? That's it. The fucking British guy? Yeah, the little blonde British dude.
Carry On was really good. I watched it.
Yeah, Carry On.
I like Hit on HBO.
What's it called?
Hit. P-I-T-T. It's the hospital.
Whoa. No, I'm just like kids. KID.
And I'm gonna watch the DCF. I keep going past that, and I didn't know how it was good. Okay.
It's good. It's like a murder mystery. It's like a weird, like dark humor kind of.
I like dark humor.
Yeah, but it's like.
Okay.
Wait, what is it?
It's called DTF St. Louis. It's on HBO.
Thank you. Nathan Knowledge, are you here?
I
Actually, I actually did catch the last episode. It comes out on Sundays. It's actually it's airing right now every Sunday. I'm not sure how many episodes it's gonna go. It's the first season of the show.
No.
Them niggas are. I think Nathan is painting a naked man or something. And Gustavo is like, I don't know.
The model for the naked man that Nathan's painting.
Most likely not, or probably like undergoing some like knee extension surgery to like add like 4 inches.
Yikes. So do we still have the policy that we'll restart the room when a Value Right Bells Chillism member is removed?
Wait, who got kicked? Who got kicked? Who got kicked?
Yesterday morning, Shy got removed.
My host. Yes, she
That's
did.
a lie.
Yeah, man, kick is my host. No, we know. I never got that. Now we know. But you see how
I swear.
off the
No.
bottom?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Is there anything?
No, I heard the room being restarted, and I was like,
well, that's a lie. Oh, yeah, we know you did it. Yep, we got him.
when did she get kicked?
Why you do that, Nathan?
Yesterday morning.
Why you pick Shy?
I picked Shy. I know she got kicked.
So, where were you? Where were you at the time Shy got kicked? You have an alibi?
I don't know. I remember her being there once, and her being told, like, hey, you being allowed, she got moved down.
You remember or you know?
I remember. Who was there too? You was complaining about it too. You remember when? Yes, she was.
I said one more time, but it seemed like you were a little more passionate.
Nathan said your cover was very low, so bro. Cooking you down with them. No, how many people did you move down? No, about 3. One more time. I moved a couple people down, but I didn't move Shy down. I tried to move it down, and it said error. That's how someone got me before. So you're blaming the computer? Is that what we're hearing, Mr. Gates? No, someone did it before. That's what usually when someone does it before you. Somebody got it before I did.
Well, they didn't just get her, they got her.
Why she didn't say it in the chat on the Discord?
This reminds you that time that
This because you guys never fast. Hold on, gentlemen, please.
How we gonna check the Discord nothing? Huh? What you say, no? You said what?
Why didn't you put it in the chat? Because if you write in the chat and get kicked, you can't write in the chat.
No, I mean the Discord.
The Discord that you guys never checked?
I mean.
More Discord.
Knowledge, check your back channels from Shy. Her username is guess 3 something 27.
Y'all niggas just not vigilant, bro.
That's a fact.
The weekend.
I think Nathan needs more lube. Hold on.
I don't think she got picked.
We get that Diddy oil for Nathan here. Hold on. This thing keeps squirming.
It's that Shy.
Yo, get the fuck out of here.
No, it's in there. Actually, I have a message from Sasha yesterday. She got kicked from the room. I'm not for her.
At what time?
I just.
Yeah, I was like, hey, bro.
Tell you the
Can't
time.
do nothing about it right now.
What time she sent the message?
Come on, it says 1 day ago. It doesn't say a time. It just says yesterday.
He's lying.
I will acknowledge.
I can be sure. I can. Yeah.
You don't have to corroborate your lies, bro.
I think Louis kicked him,
Yeah, it was me the whole time.
Oh, wait, hold on. Nathan, which troll are you going to cling to? The one that Shy wasn't kicked? Or the one that Louis kicked her? Which one are you going for? Because you kind of split there.
I didn't kick her.
Did I say you kicked her? When did you hear that the words come out of my mouth?
Alright, there you go.
On the morning.
PTR. I have a message. got a message yesterday.
Eastern Standard Time, dude.
I got a message from Shasha yesterday saying who kicked me. I had no idea she got kicked because I don't read the messages.
Well, this wouldn't have
Knowledge, you can check knowledge out with this. You can check the logs. I can't check the logs.
Oh yeah, this room is still there from yesterday, but they don't show who removed people.
Yes.
They don't show. They don't show who removed people.
Oh, you're right. So before it used to tell you who moves people down, who freaking kicks them, but I don't think it shows that anymore. Let me see.
I don't think it shows you if the host does it.
No, it used to.
Yeah, but if someone's not gonna host, if somebody down that doesn't shut, so.
Who's not the host, right? I was the host.
Nathan,
So
move
shit,
me
no, if I
down.
take them down.
Move me down, Nathan, and see if it registers on the.
No. I would never do that.
No, you want to do it. You can move me down. I'll come right back up.
Okay, only because you say you come back up. Don't forgive me, Monica.
Yo, that really hurt that. Yo, look at that. You heard his voice?
I did. It was
Y'all stop hating. Stop hating. No, I was gonna check the logs. I can't check the logs.
Hate on me. It's kind of hard being
Gustavo.
Monica, you said you was gonna come back instantly. You said you waited so long? Wow, it's
Gustavo, I'm tripping, or you can't see that. You can't see that he moved there, right?
I'm still upset that you allowed that to happen this morning,
I can see
Nathan.
the
That
log.
was not cool.
let's
Did
go.
you say that Nathan moved Monica down?
Yeah, I can see it. I'm telling you. I can see the log.
No, wait, because my shit is not saying Nathan moved her down.
Yeah, because you know that happened.
Yes.
Okay, so then
It's
you guys see
it's
everything.
moving down. Yes.
Alright,
see
so
the
that's good. So y'all know, y'all niggas is capping.
I can't see it because I'm not on an iPhone.
Wait a minute, but it doesn't show who removed people from the room.
Oh, you know,
And it doesn't show who muted people either. It only shows who moved who down. So if I move myself down, it would show in the history that I moved myself. So the people who are crying, who moved me, and they move themselves down, they get to be called out.
Wait,
It
so
doesn't
Gustavo, do you know who kicked Shasha? Because it was show for you, no?
Look. Hold on. I went back like 20-something hours. Let me go more back. Let me find out. Hold on.
Tim is happy in the goo. He said nobody needs to bring him up. He moved himself down and is trying to scapegoat. Oh,
Thank
Nick.
God.
I made that dude right the way
I'll go off the line.
Oh, shit.
I'll go right off the line before 10.
I'm happy I featured y'all. Because the truth will set you free.
It needs to go further. It needs to show who muted people and who removed people from the room. But I don't know why they're arguing. Because historically, White Bosom rooms get rebooted every morning. So she would have been back in here this morning had protocol been followed, gentlemen.
No, we've been having a busy one, and I didn't want to tweet that.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a correlation.
Yeah, I just found out who kicked her. Man, that's wild.
You're not gonna tell us?
Yeah. That is crazy.
First tell us how you
Look, I don't snitch, but it's in the history book. Bro, that is crazy.
Yeah, but like we don't have access to the history level.
Okay,
I know the mods around Apple phones, they do have history.
Well, I would like for whoever removed her from the room yesterday morning.
Was it Nathan though?
It mean more to me if the moderator admitted it without being bothered.
Gustavo, how long ago was it?
Bro, it was 25 hours ago. 25 hours ago. Yeah, bro, it's dang. The fact that no one did it to me is crazy. I'm not snitching. I don't snitch. I don't snitch. But bro,
You don't snitch because
wild.
process of elimination.
You don't snitch.
You're one of the biggest
So now we restart the room?
Yeah, I think we should, to be honest. So Shy was kicked. She sent me a DM. She was kicked. It's in the logs. I think we should start a new room.
25 hours ago, that was like around 8 o'clock yesterday.
No. It tells me 24. It tells me 24 plus hours. Meaning it could have been anything past. It could have been anything past 24 hours. It could have been 8 in the morning yesterday. It could have been 9 in the morning. It just tells me 24 plus hours. Who kicked her?
That's what we're trying to figure out right now.
It's in
They know exactly
It's in the
who
log.
kicked her.
Yeah, it's in the log.
Why is it that I'm always
They
in
won't
this
tell
room?
us.
Nathan is always doing meta. Like, and we just talk about the topic.
I like meta. Meta's my favorite.
Yo, Samo, you should be in the morning, yo. Incan was fiending from some, he was fiending from Hey, bro, why you he was scratching his arm. What the fuck? He was rubbing his nose. This morning. He was crashing out on everybody this morning. Someone came in the room, said, hey, how are you doing? He couldn't help it, bro. He was crashing out.
And yo, I literally was like, people fucking did this and they shit out for like 10 minutes.
So it's Wednesday. What should be? Are we restarting the wheel? What should be the new title? What should be the new title? Oh, okay.
That's crazy how it hasn't even been a full minute.
No, did you hear what Nathan did to me this morning? Man, like,
it's like that.
had a cue.
Before you do that, alright, I'm going to start a new room.
With the replay, so I can tell this story on record.
I just made it, what you call it just now, the event. You want to just start it from there? I got that new event. So,
you want to start it? You want me to start it?
I started right now. I just started the event. I started right now. Stop being good. Yo, Gustavo, let the. Gustavo, we can't find it, bro.
It's there. Well, I can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it.
My shit don't say 20. You said 27 hours.
No, it just says 24 plus hours. It doesn't. That's why I said 25.
There you go. All right, I'm good. Okay.
I know who kicked her.
Who?
She will.
He was me.
Nah, it was she will.
She-Wolf doesn't not admit when she does things, though. She's always been pretty straightforward. When she throws rocks, she shows her hands. Now that bitch Ninja Oleg, I don't know. He don't throw a shiesty to me.
Yeah. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. It was red room.
Red room?
They re-drummed and did it again.
That's wrong.
I mean, his name is Murder, spelled backwards.
I would get along so well with Red Room and IRL, bro. You know, tell them, bro.
Bro, it's the best when he snaps, bro.
Yes,
Yo, AJ, can I tell Oleg what you sent me today?
Yes.
Bro, Oleg, you sent me a reel that Nicole Pashinyan posted.
Yeah, in the car, right?
Yeah, listening to fucking
Bro, this is embarrassing.
the Future song. I forgot the name of the song. The one that samples got so much Molly Ferguson. And it can say to
And
me
it's
like
that part with like chase a bitch or something about bitches. It's like, bro, you're the head of state, son of a bitch. Straight to the dungeon.
Incan sent it to me like this is what I imagine red rum is like.
Bro.
I told him if you tell him that he'll kill you.
He'll fucking dox you and then appear in front of your house, bro.
There's the biggest disrespect to Armenians to be compared to that guy.
Some people love him. He's like 50
You know who loves him? Jehovah's Witnesses love him.
What?
Really? Yeah, I'm not even making that up. Yeah.
I'm convinced that Samoa is Mormon. I'm convinced of it.
He's not a denominational Christian.
Samoa is a Yugoslavian AI released onto the world in the 80s. You guys have no idea what you're dealing with. Be careful.
Yo, like, you have a rough day at work or a good day at work? I can't tell. You're all aggressive.
I'm pretty stressed out at work. The next fucking 3 months will be intense, but it's good. Settling some cases, but I have a lot of motions to write. Fucking a lot of depositions, a lot of mediations, but it's good. Just hectic. I filed 25 cases in 1 month, bro. I should have spaced them out a little bit more, but so I'm getting shafted with work, but it's good.
All right, gentlemen and ladies, there is a new room. Yes, sir. The link is in the chat. If y'all want to mod me up, I will put it on the Jumbotron and I'll shut this baby down.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there we go. All right, guys. It is unusual.
3 hours and like the room gets chilly.
Go ahead. No, you gotta get it early, Incan. The stage is open for new rooms. It's like a fresh page. It's like the Zimbabwe. What is the thing that cleans the ice? Zamboni. Thank you, Hega. I've almost forgiven you. I've almost forgiven you from the betrayal of last month. We close. We almost cut again. That hurt. That cut. Like, you don't know. All the slings and arrows that the haters lob at me in here are nothing. Like, my hide is tough. But the people that I admire and respect, the people whose opinion I value, when y'all guys come for me, I'm like, it's a paper cut with lemon juice. It burns. It's so painful.
You do know that, like, I didn't mean it as an insult, right?
I'm thinking you calling me an edible mother.
Not edible. Edible is different from devouring.
Devouring mother is the same.
No. My mother is a devouring mother, and I would
control freak.
Anybody, not control freak, but like. They just don't know how to express the immense love that they have, so they are constantly fearful of losing their child to something else, right? Like to a wife or, in my case, my fiance. So I have a very devouring mother.
That's difficult.
It is. But they're getting better. They're falling in love with each other.
Oh, that's good.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh.
We have 2 women that are.
Now they're gonna gang up on you. Oh no.
I have a devouring mother and a devouring fiance. So
no, Pickle. But they love you. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. All right, head over there. I'll be right behind you. All right, guys, closing the room.
it's supposedly a Basquiat, and I saw it go for $65,000. I spent like $500 on it.
You didn't autograph this one? Good.
I mean, that's supposedly a Basquiat.
Damn. That it really was fucking money laundering. You even saw the flash. I mean, wasn't he just like a burned out hair? Like, you know.
Think that.
Yeah, he was a heavy dick.
Called Libertarian. Is it a creation? Yeah, I would open up a bar or restaurant just called Orange. Everything is orange. Like every orange chicken, orange juice and beer.
I got a problem.
Orange
I got a
whiskey.
problem.
What?
I don't know if mom use a fucking oyster sauce.
That's pretty fun.
I know. Something we can have to talk about that. But orange chicken is amazing. I haven't had it in a while.
So we should like
You got more phones? Sam Poland, the guy running for Congress.
Yeah.
His brother was like a star football player, and I ran into them. They were going to this party at this girl Emily Clark's house. No, seriously. Yeah, they're going to Emily Clark's house, or option. Oh no, Christy Madison's house. And I went there, and it was every fucking pop shit in the school. It was like the coolest party ever. And I was having the time of my life. And I was like, all these girls that I never talked to were not talking to me, whatever. And it was just like that. I'm the fucking man. I'm coming down the stairs with a beer in my hand. And I just wipe out so hard. And I like to the point where, like, I probably broke some shit. But, like, everyone thought I died. Because there's blood everywhere. And I apparently I just get up. And I'm just like, all right, what's going on? And then, like, slap my bloody hand on the thing. And I looked like the Avatar character.
My friend got knocked out of the car one time.
Yeah.
Said something to me like, "Is that your friend over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's the problem?" And then they run up to my friend and they fucking smash him in the face. And they run out of the bar. But my friend jumped back up like a fucking spring, like nothing happened. I was like, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, what was that about?" I go, "I don't know." But it turns out that our other friend, who looks like our friend, he robbed them in the bathroom. Was trying to buy cocaine from them and decided to shove the guy's face in the toilet. Smart. After stealing the cocaine. Yeah, I was like, oh, I wonder why they want to kill you.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Why would you stick a guy's face in the toilet?
I know.
He's buying cocaine from an illegal Mexican.
I'm not
It's pretty stupid. Did you rent an apartment? Why can't you just live at your dad's place?
No, I do. And my brother is. And my rabbi has a place for me. But it's so awkward.
Well, if your dad's place is sweet, what's the
It's
problem?
not there. Because I can't pay bitches because of my lifestyle.
You can't make a bitch. You can bring her over for a coffee, can't you?
What?
Bring her over for a coffee and fuck her at her
I'm
place.
not in the coffee stuff. It's not my life.
Anyways, I'm just saying, if your dad's got a dope place, what's the problem?
That's so much hard for me to live my lifestyle. Not just, not women. I meant like culture. Like, I really need to get to God's country. What's wrong with this bar? Do you like how much harder it is to get, like, kosher food and that kind of shit? It's, like, actually annoying.
I couldn't hear you. What were you saying?
That, what was this?
You can't be kosher at your dad's house?
It's like I really need to watch Parks Park. It's like I really want to live in a Jewish area. It's like hard to actually be kosher and go to synagogue and all that.
There should be some other priorities in your life, like your well-being.
So that is.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's also a question of money, isn't it?
What?
It's a question of money too, isn't it?
What do you mean it's a question of money? I'm doing good.
I know, I'm just saying.
No, I actually have money in the bank. And I just got $1,400 for that. Yeah. When I still haven't even sold my wedding ring yet.
You want to know secret about taxes?
What?
In Kansas City, they do not let you photograph the area where all of the tax returns come in.
Yeah.
Because if you saw how they actually handle the tax return, you would realize mailing in a paper tax return guarantees no audit. Because all they do is take a check or whatever's in the envelope, they just fucking file it, it goes into a huge filing system, and then they ship it off to a warehouse.
Okay, so I'm paper next time, what you're saying?
Paper's way around. But this time I filed digital. But
I did digital.
if you cheat on your taxes, do the paper. Because it's not digitized.
That's really good to know. I don't, to my knowledge. I mean, we all do in different directions. Like, I gave a bunch, I only added like one of the charity donations. I gave some more, I didn't give a shit.
totally fuck around and schedule C with that. Schedule myself with like.
I suppose I didn't want to fuck around too much, so. But that kind of scared me where he's like an audit is so expensive it's not worth it.
Yeah. Are you on Hinge? What? Are you on Hinge? Yeah. Let me see your Hinge account. Not good. You should see mine.
Plus, I'm like,
Faggot to prostitutes? I'm confused. Yeah, what about it?
Oh, here's the John Locke book I got. Pretty good.
John Locke's legit.
I got Thomas Paine, John Locke. This is a really interesting book here. It is expensive. It's very interesting. It's the ISIS.
What is the ISAIC tablet?
I had never heard of it before.
Me neither.
It's from ancient Egypt. It's like a 5x3 copper plate.
Yeah.
But all these hieroglyphics, like there's an interpretation to it. So this book deals with the like occult interpretation of it. This was the guy.
He's got the
West got supreme.
Yes.
But it's cool. So that's I guess maybe the real relief, or that maybe that might be the real relief. But this is the hand drawn one. And so I haven't gotten into. I was reading about the history of it, but I haven't gotten into the actual translation of the hieroglyphics yet. But I believe it's ISIS. I believe it's ISIS, like some kind of ceremony. Like, so anyways, I'm gonna find out what it's about. But this book is, printed in England. It's beautiful. But look at this. This is their own binding company. But this is from a group in England called the Hellfire Club,
Oh, I know about that.
Cult mystics or something.
Yeah. And there was actually some founding fathers. I think Benjamin Franklin's in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You ever wrote Jake Tapper wrote a book.
But they send me all, I've been buying their books, and they're expensive.
Oh, sure. But not, right.
Those are all the critics, old stuff. This is just like, I love this.
I don't like fiction. I watch like Elmore Leonard, Lose MR. Like, that Philip K. Dick, that kind of shit.
This Army colonel from the British Army who was friends with Crowley, Aleister Crowley. So just pick any page in here and read it, and it's very interesting.
I still want the Zohar. This is really interesting.
Because Judaism, like.
Well, there was no Torah until Moses, and so Judaism was all world until Sinai.
There's like a consistent Donald Trump room on Clubhouse.
This makes you.
Candace versus Trump.
No, the other. Agnes is the
Check out these drums.
Candace versus Trump. Okay, boy! Who will survive? Bucket boys. I've seen our mind one of these. So this kind of like, there's masculine ones, right? No.
I tried to get a masculine one. They all come out feminine.
Yeah, what the fuck? And none of them are practical. Where's like the badass, like, I want the mega.
Do you know what a fan is? It's actually like a magical instrument, like a wand.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's also an illusion, because you're not actually changing the temperature.
Well, you know what happened? No, what it is also a breathing device. Because when you're fanning yourself, you go and you start taking deep breaths. So it's like a magical instrument to take deep breaths. Yeah.
Did you know that, Debbie?
I mean, nobody can talk to you. You gotta.
No. I was just kidding.
I see your dad pop on. I was like,
strategy.
I'll have like a Trump remote, and your dad will come in, but he won't raise his hand or anything. He'll just leave.
I'm just.
Okay, I'm gonna go clean my stairs and have a beer.
Is that a rush hour? That was the best type of alcohol. It's too.
What's funny is a lot of spiritual people are actually very concerned. They hate the bullshit.
Exactly. But you know, I'm gonna take stick up in there. Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Sorry, don't worry about it.
No, I didn't.
Of course not. Dude, you gotta stretch those feet.
Not good fine. I just fucked them up.
pushing the U.S. to drop Trump's blockade because they were afraid that they are threatening to do. That lobbying effort, the idea that what Saudi Arabia wants and what Trump wants, are two different things. This is particularly significant when you remember that one of the people leading negotiations with Iran right now is this guy.
What are the, I would say, things you have in your mind, in your body that you're using to be a deal maker in this very complex?
Even though Kushner is currently one of Trump's top negotiators with Iran, he was introduced at this Saudi investment event as a private citizen, as the founder and chief executive of his investment firm, Affinity Partners. You know, the investment firm of Kushner's that got a cool $2 billion from the Saudis after Trump's first term? That one. Now, the firm that the New York Times reports Kushner is actively trying to raise another $5 billion for from Gulf states like Saudi Arabia, while also leading negotiations with Iran, all happening at the same time. Now, I should note that in the months since the Times published that, Kushner's firm has said that it does not intend to take in any additional capital while Jared is volunteering for the government. But the thing, the commitment certainly doesn't exist once he leaves, and it certainly looks like he's lining up investments for when that day comes. The biggest problem here is that Kushner has a clear conflict of interest. The White House insists that Kushner only acts in the best interest of the American people. But now one of his biggest benefactors, a country that has pumped literally billions of dollars into his company's coffers, a country that he's now asking to give him billions of dollars more, that country disagrees with Trump on how the U.S. should be negotiating with Iran. And Jared is one of the top negotiators. Today's Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund announced its strategy for the next 4 years of investments. The fund says it plans to prioritize domestic investments inside Saudi Arabia, meaning maybe not investing as much in firms run by the son-in-laws of U.S. presidents. We'll see. But maybe if Kushner plays his cards right, the Saudis will change their mind. Now, I should say that Kushner is adamant that his business life and his diplomatic life are two separate things. It's impossible not to see the connections here. I mean, Jared isn't the only walking, talking conflict of interest on the U.S. side of these negotiations either. Today, the Financial Times reported that the Saudis may also be backing out of their American Gulf.
Think of what people pay your salary and your pension. That's how much that actually looks
empire
like.
of golf courses after the PG.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because I just wanted to show you guys how Jared Kushner. What is going on? He doesn't know nothing about what he's doing. Talking about business is peace. Business is the same as peace. This is something so important for that whole region over there. They're not really taking this shit seriously. They're sending Jared Kushner, J.D. Vance, who has no experience doing that, and that other weird guy who I just don't know who he is either. And
but to be representing himself as a private citizen, while we're saying that he's over there representing America's interests, that is wow.
And he said he's volunteering. Did you hear that? He's acting like he's going over there and he's not charging the United States a dime. That is, that's bullshit.
So here's another problem. Bibi Netanyahu literally stayed in his room when he was a kid. His dad and Bibi are like besties. And like they say, when Bibi would come to America back in the day, and Jared was literally sleeping in his room. So the fact that Israel is who pushed us into this war or convinced Donald Trump to go ahead and take this action, saying it's going to be easy. So how do you think our interests are being served? Whose interests are being served with Jared Kushner being, over there in that room with the Iranians?
So Bibi and Kushner's daddy were having pajama parties when they were younger. When they
would come to America, Jared Kushner his room, they would give his room up, and Bibi would sleep in his room when Bibi would come to America.
dollar stake in the cryptocurrency firm founded by Trump and Witkoff's families. Months later, a fund backed by the country made a $2 billion deal using the Trump and Witkoff family digital coins.
What the fuck is this thing?
The White House has said that Witkoff does not participate in any official matters that could impact his financial interests. But could we get that map of the trade routes Iran is threatening to blockade up there on the screen again? That certainly seems like it would be bad for Saudi Arabia and the UAE. You can see that.
What the fuck is this thing?
They have really good relationships with the key negotiators in charge.
Okay, so this is interesting, y'all.
Shred all your crimes.
So,
Shred all your crimes.
a fund backed by Abu Dhabi would be making a $2 billion business deal using the Trump's firm's digital coin. And that, what is he not? Trump is making money, he handles this. Now, the guy who was also the real estate investor / lawyer, they're all over there making all kind of backdoor deals for billions of dollars. They ain't even worried about what's going on over there in Iran. Okay, this is definitely Bibi's war because Trump is saying this gives me an opportunity to start, cutting some deals.
Excuse me, and you know what they're gonna say?
No.
Well, Hunter Biden did it.
Yeah, Hunter Biden didn't do it right. That Hunter Biden didn't follow the Trump plan. He'd still be rich and be able to pay his lawyer fees that I heard he can't afford to pay his lawyer fees now. So Biden and Hunter didn't do it right. They didn't grift the correct way because the Trumps are making money hand over fist. And I didn't know that they were also
He went in the Matrix. Like,
business. The Saudis were, huh?
you cut off on my end, but maybe that was me. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all I have to say on that. This is wild.
If the midterms do what we're thinking they're going to do, all this stuff is on record. So literally, the top 10 days that the stock market had were days after, like, he said he was going to do a tariff and did a taco. When this thing with the oil and some of the stuff with the war, playing the markets, like people betting on stuff, they can track all of this stuff, what his kids are doing. All this that's going on, the enriching themselves in the presidency, if we get to a point to where they can start to have committees and start to actually dig into this, then there's going to be a lot of meat on the bone for them to really go after. But, everything is just hinging on November, and that's why, Trump is going to try to do whatever he can, the majority, to keep that from happening.
One thing about Kushner that's interesting, right, is that he's fast becoming this sort of he's like an agent who represents multiple big clients. He's gaining so much leverage because on one side there's a tremendous amount of money that was behind him. Right? Now that's in jeopardy. But on the other side, he increasingly has more and more control over the investment, the loans, and the actual businesses, their boards that are being bought. One business in particular was EA Games. EA Games is the largest video game publisher, and it's the American it's like the top American video game franchise publisher in the world, and representative for all video game publishers. It's a tremendous loss for America not to have that company, because sometimes that company has been responsible for producing both culturally and historically, and just American, I would just say it captured American culture, and that's something that will probably change under Saudi ownership. And last, this was not totally possible by money alone. Some of the stuff was, in that particular case, and this is happening in pretty much all the deals, JP Morgan is financing these things.
thank you for that, the left. That part I didn't even know. But we have something really interesting. I guess Trump is crying now to the Iranians. That is what Lawrence is going to be talking about right now. I'm sorry the clips are coming back to back, but I kind of like ran into, you know what I did. I'm looking for 20, y'all. It's time for Lawrence O'Donnell. We're going to try to also do some of the conspiracy theories that I wanted to do last night when it came to Michael Jackson. So if you guys are sensitive, you can leave early before class is over. And we can't stay open until 3 o'clock in the morning this time because I was literally falling asleep at work. That has never happened to me, ever. I was drinking coffee, lattes, Red Bulls. Like, what is wrong with you? That's the second Red Bull. You shouldn't drink those. It gives you kidney stones. I was like, it's either that or I'm going to be flat on my face. So we're going to put in as much work as we can possibly do. And then kind of close up before 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to get a little bit of sleep. And then everybody in the house is sick. Are you guys getting summer colds, allergies, anything out there?
No, not really.
No?
No, I won't be surprised because it's been 80 the last 2 days, and it's going to drop back down to 30. So I'm expecting to see a lot of people sick.
Yeah, it's 80. It was 60, I think, the day before. Now today, I'm assuming it was 60. Now today it's 80 something. I don't know what it's going to look like tomorrow. But the kiddos are all sick, and I feel like, I'm just tired. I'm worn down. So we're going to...
I got yellow fever.
Are you just lying?
It's Donald Trump. It's the evil of Donald Trump. He's making everyone sick with his behavior.
Oh, I fall for this shit. Why do I always fall for this shit?
Because you gullible.
Y'all, you can't be joking like that with a nurse. Come on now.
You should have saw his orange fever from Trump. That would have been.
Well, I wasn't even looking at the screen, so I don't even know who it was. I'm just like, yellow fever. A lot of stuff is coming back, though, you guys. There's a lot of, because people are not getting, they're not getting their inoculations. A lot of dumb shit is starting to surface back up. So, I believe anything at this point. So,
shout out to RFK.
Shout out to RFK. And then, did you see Donald Trump saying that Diet Coke cures cancer or stops cancer or something like that?
We got half of it right.
What did he say?
It does cure grass, right? He said it. That was Dr. House, right? He said that if
I said it was Donald Trump who said it.
Well, Dr. House was talking to Donald Trump and he was being interviewed. And he told the interviewer that he was talking to Trump, and Trump said that he walked in on Trump and he was pushing a button to get the soda. And he said he was also drinking a Fanta. And he said that, soda probably good because you can pour it on grass and it'll kill grass. And then it'll probably kill cancer. We all know that soda doesn't have cancer targeting.
So this is what these idiots are talking about in the break room.
The Caucasian Republicans.
We got in charge of major organizations standing around the break room talking about soda can kill grass and probably kill cancer.
Sabotaging them. Don't forget, Grandma Pussy. Trolling them for years.
How can I?
Remember, he told us to drink bleach.
You need to start every. Well, if I would start every night with that sister that broke down that he's the president of the illiterates. Because that just level set every night to understand what we're dealing with. Because that was real good how she broke down reading levels in this country, how he makes people feel about themselves, all of that. So that's what it is. I mean, none of this stuff makes sense. It's nonsensical.
Yeah, there was another clip we played yesterday that I wanted to play today, breaking down the Iran war. I got so many clips I'm lost that let me try to juggle back through it and maybe I can bring it back up. But I think we were listening to Lawrence O'Donnell at that point. I don't know. So anyway, let's click this off so we can get through it. And we can close up a little bit early.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Thank you. Donald Trump knows he is losing. Donald Trump knows the Democrats are going to win the congressional elections this year, and Donald Trump knows
But that means a Democratic-controlled House of Representatives will very likely be forced by Donald Trump's own conduct to impeach him for a third time and to put him on trial in the United States Senate, where the Democrats could be in majority control of the Senate next year for many reasons, including that today, Democratic leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, once again forced a vote on Donald Trump's war, and every Republican senator running for re-election this year chose to vote for Donald Trump's war, including Susan Collins of Maine, who could be digging her own political grave with that vote and handing over her Republican Senate seat to the Democrats in November. And Donald Trump knows this is happening. Donald Trump knows the Democratic chairman of congressional investigative committees next year and their highly skilled staff will work 7 days a week investigating Donald Trump's massive corruption, investigating Donald Trump's corrupt personal enrichment, using his position as president to enrich himself and his family. Donald Trump knows that those congressional investigative staff members will be working 7 days a week investigating corruption at every level of the Trump government, in every department and every cabinet secretary, including the fired cabinet secretaries. And Donald Trump just watched the voting population of Hungary rise up against the corruption of a prime minister, corruption that Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to continue. Donald Trump tried to corrupt the voters of Hungary by publicly offering them cash from the American government if they would just vote for the prime minister who it turns out they hated. Donald Trump is so afraid of becoming the next Viktor Orban, the next target of the kind of top-to-bottom corruption investigation Hungary's new prime minister is promising. Donald Trump fears losing the congressional elections so badly that he has turned to psychiatrists for help, as he publicly admitted today in a highly edited, favorably edited, no doubt, but still incapable of suppressing the madness, highly edited interview released by the Fox propaganda channel. When somebody gets elected president, that party always loses the midterms. I don't know why. Nobody can explain it. I asked people that are deep into the psychological world, I said, why is it that a voter votes for the opposite party? It's even when you have a good president. I asked people that are deep into the psychological world. His 80th birthday approaching, Donald Trump can no longer come close to forming a normal sentence in a lifetime of listening to people speak English. You have never once heard someone say, I asked people that are deep into the psychological world. Psychology professionals include a range from psychologists to psychiatrists, social psychologists, and others. And social psychologists have actually done some very interesting work over the years about how voters make their choices. But I think we can just dismiss it as another Trump lie with the awkward Trump phrasing of a seemingly crumbling brain. Because if Donald Trump did ever talk to people that are deep into the psychological world, he is just statistically likely to be talking to someone who thinks Donald Trump has very serious mental problems, and as described in the book, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, which was featured on this program in the first year of Donald Trump's first presidency. The book started off expert watching him were able to make their contributions to that book based on their expertise. And in later editions, it went up to 37 psychology professionals analyzing Donald Trump. And in his very first appearance on this program, in the
second month of Donald Trump's presidency 10 years ago. Former Harvard Medical School professor Dr. Lance Notice said this.
Lying in the way that he does it, repeated, dangerous lie, makes him unfit and is a sign of serious mental fatigue. And to the extent he doesn't know reality, and I agree, by the way, I don't think he does know reality. Clearly, he doesn't have a clear grasp of it because he changes it. He makes up reality to suit his internal needs.
And here we are 10 years later, and it is so much worse that finally everyone else, the news media, has caught up with the issue of Donald Trump's obviously crumbling mental state. And thousands of Trump supporters attacked the Capitol on January 6, 2021, after Donald Trump told them to go there to fight like hell. Professor Notice returned to this building 3 days after the January 6th attack and said this.
A delusional psychopath who has been the same his whole life and who we knew would get worse the more strict he was under, because that's what happens with people with this kind of severe disorder. So when Nancy Pelosi said that she was making sure that the nuclear button couldn't be pushed, that was very wise and made a lot of sense. It was not an overreaction in the slightest. And when she said he's unstable, absolutely, that is exactly the situation we're in and why he needs to be removed immediately yesterday. Really, because he is going to continue to get worse.
It is going to continue to get worse. It's 5 years ago. And now finally, everyone, and I mean everyone, from the New York Times to Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene, agree that Donald Trump is much, much worse. You can go to the street of Hormuz or the Hormuz Street. I said, which is better? They said, either is okay. And you can call it either one. You can't call it the Trump Street. They don't like that idea. Okay, now that is a wartime president. In the middle of a war he started, talking about what is now the central point of contention in his war, an important body of water, an important shipping channel, that he apparently didn't know existed or didn't know what to call when he started his war. So he had to ask people. We heard former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's laughter on Morning Joe this week when she was talking about Donald Trump having no idea that Iran had the power to close the Strait of Hormuz before he started his war and shut down 20% of the world's oil supply, as it has done. In fact, the Strait of Hormuz remains 90% closed, according to CNBC analysis of commercial shipping there. And Donald Trump wants to call it the Trump Strait. Why? Because it would be easier for him to remember. Just imagine Franklin Delano Roosevelt not knowing what to call the English Channel when General Dwight Eisenhower. Turn to history often or fair. The D-Day invasion in World War II, the turning point of that war. After that invasion was so successful, imagine President Roosevelt saying he wanted to call the English Channel the Roosevelt Channel. There would have been no smiles anywhere in the world. There would have been no defense, even of some kind of perverse, deeply sick joke. And if he said that, President Roosevelt would not have had a chance in his 1944 re-election campaign, which was quietly underway before and after the D-Day invasion. President Roosevelt went on to win his re-election that year to his 4th term before presidential term limits were amended to the Constitution. And the next year, President Roosevelt did something that Donald Trump does not know ever happened. Look, I ended 8 wars. It's coming. But I ended 8 wars. Nobody's ever ended one war. Who's ended one war? Just when you think you might know the rough dimensions of Donald Trump's enormous ignorance, he says something like that, and you realize that he has no idea
liberate Chicago, save us.
the history of any wars, including the simplest possible history, which every American high school student knows about how World War II ended. Nobody has ever ended one war. Those are his exact words. Who's ended one? Nobody. That's what he said. If any other president had ever said that, it would be the stupidest thing that president had ever said. But the media has been beaten into a full acceptance of how relentlessly stupid and massively ignorant Donald Trump is, and so Donald Trump doesn't know President Roosevelt successfully won World War II, effectively brought it to an end, but died in office in the final days of the war in Germany. And so Harry Truman, elevated from the vice presidency, was president when the United States Army marched into Berlin and accepted Germany's unconditional surrender, and months later accepted Japan's unconditional surrender. So Harry Truman ended 2 wars, a war in Europe and a war in the Pacific, in his first weeks in office. Nobody has ever ended one war. Who's ended one war? Nobody. Think of how ignorant, stupid, and completely out of control you have to be to say something like that. Every single person on Trump's age remembers how the Korean War ended in a truce between North Korea and South Korea, a truce that holds to this day, a truce negotiated by President Eisenhower. And of course, Republican President Gerald Ford ended the Vietnam War by simply surrendering and ordering the United States Army to flee from Vietnam. So yes, President Ford ended the Vietnam War by quitting, by surrendering. There's more than one way to end a war, and we have seen them all. Republican President George H.W. Bush waged a war against Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in 1990. The U.S. military drove Saddam Hussein's Iraqi army.
Fighting all people that want to live free from taxation and tax
It was planned. President George H.W. Bush ended that first Iraq war. Donald Trump was an American citizen for every one of those wars since World War II, but you never know it. And what's hard to tell now is when Donald Trump said, nobody has ever ended one war. Was that the stupidity speaking, or was that the insanity speaking? The problem for a president is it doesn't make any difference. Stupidity is as dangerous as insanity.
Have you been negotiating a lot all day? I mean, is that why your voice is...
I've been screaming at Iranians all day, yes. A little bit of the laryngitis because of my skin. I've been screaming at Iranians. So we may have the title of the next flaunting Amazon documentary about life in the Trump White House this week, about Donald Trump instead of Melania Trump. Screaming at Iranians. Coming up on Amazon. We seem to be lying about 2 things there. First of all, that's just his voice. That's the way he sounds on a good day now. I mean, asking why your voice sounds so weird and awful does seem like a well-targeted question for Donald Trump, who seems to choose a vocal style that he thinks sounds tough guy, I guess. It was not the vocal style he chose in the 1980s or the 1990s when he could be downright soft-spoken in interviews. Donald Trump's voice is a performance choice, just like his hair is a performance choice, and always has been. And they are both very weird choices. And the voice is an unbearable choice for most people to listen to. The other thing that Donald Trump is no doubt lying about is screaming at Iranians. I've been screaming at Iranians all day. No, he hasn't. First of all, he doesn't do anything all day, except maybe look at social media and watch TV. And it is more than likely that Donald Trump did not speak to a single Iranian today, or that day when that was taped before they ended it. But if we were to take him at his lying or demented word that he was screaming at Iranians all day, it means he was losing all day in his screaming negotiations with Iranians, which have achieved absolutely nothing as of this hour tonight, with the Strait of Hormuz still 90% closed. Donald Trump is the first president in history who doesn't know what to call his war. I had to go to a war. I had to go and fight either a military operation, some people would call it a war, some people call it a military operation. Historians can engage in protracted debates about how much deception was involved in President Lyndon Johnson's massive escalation of the American involvement in the Vietnam War. So too, with George W. Bush's Iraq War, did the president lie us into war always a question that has been asked both about the Vietnam War and the Iraq War, but no president has ever made it so instantaneously easy to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he is lying about the reason for his war. If I didn't do that, right now you would have Iran with a nuclear weapon. That is a provable lie. That is a scientific. People can convince now. Everyone was poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. Donald Trump continues to engage in one-way combat with the Pope, something no president in history has ever chosen to do. Every Pope has been an opponent of the death penalty, and popes have, for decades, publicly objected to American governors' use of the death penalty, and sometimes personally begged for mercy in individual cases from the death penalty that could be delivered by those governors. Not one of those governors ever stopped an execution in deference to the Pope, but none of those governors ever attacked the Pope in the process. Donald Trump's toxic brew of extreme narcissism and extreme stupidity and extreme ignorance of everything, including religion itself, is the out-of-control engine driving Donald Trump's new mad war with the Pope. And at 8:34 a.m. today, Donald Trump decided he had the perfect way to get Catholics and all Americans on his side in his crazed war with the Pope by tweeting an image of Donald Trump being embraced in a way we have never seen Donald Trump embraced by a man. Never seen a real photograph of anything like that with Donald Trump. But there is this. There is Donald Trump with the porn star Stormy Daniels, who he tried to pay off for her silence about their sexual encounter that occurred presumably once he took the goofy golf hat off in his hotel room at a golf tournament while Donald Trump's third wife was at home nursing her baby boy, who is now 20 years old and eligible for, but apparently politely refusing, service in Donald Trump's war. Donald Trump was convicted in his criminal and unsuccessful scheme to buy Stormy Daniels' silence. And so, the clownish man in the red hat in that picture of Stormy Daniels, who years later could not even negotiate a settlement with Stormy Daniels for her silence, now tells us every week that his war will end in a day or two and gas prices will come tumbling down immediately. But to achieve that, he's just going to have to spend 1, maybe 2 more days screaming at Iranians. Leading off our discussion tonight is Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. She's a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee and the Senate Commerce Committee. She's also now a candidate for governor of Minnesota. Senator Klobuchar, I want to begin with the business of the Senate today. And Leader Schumer once again putting the Iraq war to the Iran war, Donald Trump's war.
Here we go. That was very interesting. I don't know what is screaming at Iranians. He's not even talking to them. How has he been screaming at Iranians all day? He's not even in the negotiations.
Like we've talked about, like Lawrence said, it's lies. So I like how Lawrence's style, where he digs into everything he says and then gives you what the reality of it is. So we just need to stop repeating the lies. What he said about that is no need to believe what Donald Trump said. Literally no need. And we know he lies. So, maybe just move along from that one because
So yesterday, Fox News made fun of Lawrence O'Donnell. He is rooting for Iran. They call him a traitor. Basically.
They call Lawrence O'Donnell a traitor?
Yeah, they said he's
him, and then also they was talking about Thomas Friedman, who made a statement that he wants to see Iran go down, but he doesn't want Trump to do it. So there's plenty of clips of Democrats, and then we made fun of all of them.
Did you guys already play the part where Giordano showed the quote from the parliament, and they said that Trump was a dangerous and corrupt gangster?
That was last night's episode. I think we need somebody to play that last night.
Oh, that's really good.
Was it last night or last? Yeah, that was last night.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I had to talk today.
Oh no, you good. To Amari's point about Fox, I'm just saying that we're in a time now, like where it's 51%, 49%, everything, except that Trump is doing so many things to ruin his percentage. If he just could have stayed in the pocket, got the border under control, people were happy about what he was doing with the border. Even with ICE, he was like taking L's until Renee Good, and I was pretty got like killed, murdered. So, you know, even with all the stuff that was going on. But this stuff with the war, the stuff with Jesus, the stuff with the Pope, all this information about how Israel was over here in the Situation Room, like his numbers have dropped so badly where it's just, now it's like Fox is just like, they're just sort of spitting in the wind or pissing into the wind at this point. So anything they're doing over there, it's just, you know, more people are believing they're not Lawrence O'Donnell, you know, as a traitor, but he sounds like he's a truth teller. Somebody's trying to lead us in a good direction. Fox is flailing right now. They have to be flailing just because Trump's numbers are flailing.
I was saying this. So today, I was in my brother Matt Cool's room, and he can probably come on stage and tell you, put a chat. A lot of people went back to Epstein. So some people, you know, it's like, I think it's like 50-50, would you say, Matt Cool in the room? 50% of people felt that that's when they seem like, okay, this is not cool. So that would be early late, like Q3 of last year, you know, well before all this other shit started going down.
But when your story on Fox News is about O'Donnell telling the truth on his show, then you in trouble anyway, if that's what you're talking about.
Well, no,
and I didn't hear them say O'Donnell was lying. They just said he was talking about it and called him a traitor.
Well, it sounds like they're rooting. It sounds like they're not rooting for it. So I don't know. Do you know who Harold Ford Jr. is?
I do.
Yeah. So there's a big difference in the way Harold speaks and the way a lot of someone like O'Donnell did. It sounds like they don't root for America. They just root. They're just like Trump.
No, it sounds like they just tell the truth of what's going on.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. They're just saying the news. It's nothing that he's saying that is not correct, that is a lie. They're just reporting the news. And what you guys can't even acknowledge is that something is wrong with this president. He's insane. Something is wrong with this president. He's insane. And you guys refuse to, you refuse.
And Harold Ford was also accused of sexual harassment. He was thrown out of his office as well. Thank you. That's before you were paying attention to politics. I didn't just start.
Okay, but does that make him, okay, he did that, but does that make him not a truth teller on the side of how he approaches the Democrats? I mean, for the most part, he's still in the
nobody cares about how, nobody cares about the difference between how Harold Ford depicts things versus Lawrence O'Donnell. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. That's we all have our own opinions, and I respect that. I would say, for me personally, I like the Harold Ford Jr.'s types. I like the people who are a lot more, like you say, I want my
country to deal with the fact that I just called your president insane. See,
that's not a lot. Okay, yeah, that's so.
He's crazy.
There's the argument there, Lisa. That's
there's no argument there. Why don't we get together and do the 25th Amendments? You're just like an insane person. No. Okay, so the Republicans are just gonna see how far they can ride the insanity train.
Let's contact either Duke.
What exactly makes him insane? Are you projecting?
So hold on real quick.
What exactly makes him insane? Sir, go look at his tablet shit. You don't even have the top 10. The top 10. I know.
This guy. It sounds to me like she keeps projecting her own mental instability on Donald Trump as if he's a catch-all evergreen for everybody's complaint. He's a man. He's your president, baby.
Hold up. Let him go. Amari.
This crooked crew talking about.
Amari. I don't know who it was. I guess you dropped him.
No, he's on stage.
Yeah, I'm still here, baby.
No, me, I don't know you. I don't know what the fuck you did this morning, what you ate for breakfast.
Well, if you did, you'd be a motherfucking mind reader. Now, wouldn't that be a fact?
I let you talk. Don't talk when I'm talking. So you know nothing about me.
And you don't know nothing about me.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so see, you want to go get on, and I'm just going to help you have a conversation with him. Go ahead and drop him, because he doesn't want to have a conversation. He just wants to be...
Goodbye. Go ahead, keep projecting all you want, Lisa. It ain't gonna help solve the situation. Projecting on Donald Trump all night long.
No, you. So how's that projecting?
Yeah, I don't know you neither. I just record your room. You and Patty all day, every day. I record you, Lisa. You my #1 star on YouTube, baby.
Politically correct where he copies his chocolate.
Exactly. I record. You are my content. I record the plantation.
Okay, I got you. Well, what was the plantation? A lot of time.
I don't know Kitover voice right now.
You got to moderate that lot down, Lisa. Just so you know, we can't do anything.
I didn't know. I've never met him, and now that I know what he sounds like, then whatever.
Oh, he doesn't sound like that. That's a fake voice. It's like point. It's like he puts that voice on. He ran for all his life.
Like, boy, take Point's name out of your mouth, because Point is a goddamn model, and you're nothing, Amari. You're an ugly, fat, over the hill.
Oh, God.
Point is a supermodel, and you're all just a bunch of big dummies, big stupid dummies. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to call Point and tell her to come in here. He's a gay white guy, but I'm going to tell her to come in here and tell her to stop. You better stop projecting, Lisa. Stop projecting.
Right now, cool. Is John really Point? There's no way that's happening.
Probably. So just
Is that Point? I didn't really know.
Long time. Yeah, that could very well be Point. I agree.
I can tell by the inflections.
So what happened?
So back to what we were talking about. I don't know these characters like you guys do. So when I'm saying Omari, it doesn't matter if O'Donnell says it, and I think it's starting to hit home because why would a whole other news station like Debbie said be talking about another anchor the way he delivers his broadcast? That is just digging and scraping the bottom. Trump is insane. Just plain and simple. And you said, oh, well. It's like, it's not, oh, well. It seems like to me the Republicans don't want to. You can have J.D. Vance. What's the problem? You'll end up in a situation because he said today and says, oh, my voice is like this because I've been hollering at Iranians all day. He's not even in the negotiations. No one is even talking to him. He's just a big fat liar. All he does is sit up and lie, mock people, mock the Pope. Who in their right mind starts a feud with the Pope? It's nothing the Pope can say to me that want me to clap back.
Lisa, he had over 20,000 lives in his first
35,000.
See, there you go. As many as Iranians killed their.
Oh, here you go. I ain't gonna line that up.
So I think with the Fox News thing, I think they're not really trying to like so much align strongly with Trump, but they're trying to use dual messaging, right? So they're like not argue against Trump, but they're trying to say they're just trying to stay aligned with the audience, right? No matter what happens, midterms or even after.
Well, Megan Kelly talked about it. It's like you have to. You have to. Vote. Not vote, but you have to cheerlead the president. So if it's a Republican president, you have no choice. Even if you disagree, it's part of the program. Especially the later, only people that don't really have to do that are someone like a Brett Bear.
What I'm trying to say though is like the framing is going to slide, right? When they lose, it's going to slide to the localities, right? To where they're strong. So,
And that's not doing it right now. You have Youngkin back in the news. You have Youngkin out there going after Spanberger. You see her ratings going out. So we'll see. Let the Democrats take control like they did in 2018. Get some bills passed. Try to get for the third time. If you have anyone like Fetterman that's on there, you let one of those Fetterman types get in, then he's gonna not get removed. But
it'll be good for Trump because he's gonna be able to blame them. He's gonna be able to assign responsibility for everything on the Democrats and how hard it is for him to get anything passed.
I would say he did better on the Democrats. I would say from 2017 to 2018, there was no success in the first Trump administration. I would say besides, the Tax Cuts and Job Act, right? If you look at when they came in 2019 and 2020, they worked well together. They got the AMC, whatever that Canada bill passed, the Canada and Mexico bill. And, they even did some other things in regards to COVID, getting people, help.
I think Trump's incompetency just started becoming very apparent,
You can't do anything when you have a Republican Party that won't vote for anything. Like, the Senate won't do anything. Like, they won't even pass the easiest bill to pass. They won't even pass a bill on ID, even though they ran on it. He can't get nothing done with Republicans.
Is it the Republican Senate or the Republican Party, or is it Trump that's crazy?
The Republican Party influence. I remember towards Trump's end, and I remember this like it was yesterday, where Trump asked for $600 more for a COVID check before he left. $600 more. That's all he wanted, and I was like, nope. We're not getting the $600 more. Oh, damn, that's fucked up. You worried about $600, and so it was a damn shame. And you could tell they don't want to do it. No health care, even though they don't want to. Even what's the guy from Louisiana? It's Pennsylvania, Louisiana, whatever the guy. He used to be a physician. He's a Republican. Said, "Oh, we're gonna have this new health care." Where the fuck is that? They haven't had to come up with it. Watch, Democrats don't come in, they're going to get a chance to get some of those people back on Obamacare, get the credits back, impeach Trump, and they're going to say, we're going to chew gum and work at the same time. Watch. This is on replay. Mark my words.
Well, explain this. What's happening with Leah Barnum?
Not familiar with you said Leah Brandon?
Leah Barnum. The person so Leah Barnum, they left the Trump administration. They were the White House cabinet secretary. So yeah, they're abandoning ship.
I didn't know isn't she like some like white lady, or she was like an advisor? Who was she under?
Yeah, she's white. I believe she's white, but she departed. She just left. Yeah. She joined this private company that another good party started.
Look, people are gonna leave. That's like they did. He lost. Remember, they used to keep track of. Hi, Patty. Remember, they used to track all the people that used to leave. They had put X marks on their faces. It's going to be. It's going to be the same. So just it's like a bingo card. Just keep tracking it. Bingo card. I'll make you moderator. So, but that's it. But O'Donnell was good. I mean, that was actually pretty good today. At least I gotta give him. He was actually on point today. might be talking on mute. You hear Lisa? All right, well. Hey, Patty, what's up, Walt? What were you in the audience, Walt?
Yo. What you know?
So if Republicans are starting to turn on Trump, and I mean citizens of the United States, they are starting now to turn. Why? They are representatives.
From the House.
What are they afraid of?
I think that's one of the answers. I think he still has enough supporters in their district that they don't want to alienate. And like, why lose a vote? Why maybe like decide a vote over when you just put it all over Democrats' lap?
Keep power.
And they fail to support rehabilitation. So actually they don't make legislation laws so we definitely, that's an ultimate goal for the Greens, is to not have a system as it is right now. In the meantime, we would massively want to reduce the number of people
For mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich.
1 week later, 2 weeks later, whatever.
I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pay-to-tear tax, the first in New York history. This is an annual fee on luxury property of $5 million. Whose owners do not live full-time in the city, like for this penthouse. The hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pay-to-tear tax is specifically designed for the richest Americans, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate who don't actually own it. But even so, they're able to reap huge financial rewards owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world.
So that ain't gonna happen. So I'm with you on that, man. Donald Trump should see his way out of office in November. Folks are now serving your life has been changed. If you're a Republican and you feel like your life is okay, it's sit your ass down. But the people that are hurting, we hope Donald Trump see his way out of office because this stuff is concerning for a lot of reasons. I can't mention on here.
You don't stop now. Dude, this guy shouldn't be here. It's my court date. What's wrong with you? Anyone else got any opinion on why Republicans, as of today, haven't jumped on
So, I mean, what do they care about actually?
I think the thing that's wrong with him, and I don't know if I'm calling him, he started to lose his pace, so like the numbers and everything that they talked about. He misses Uncle Joe who played that video. Like a lot of people are talking to even this thing. What do you do here? The problem is this individual is a man who lacks the courage to stand up for himself. He can't even find words to say. He can't stand up. He sits down and he finds himself in this defensive cowardice position. What do you do here? Do you think she wants to be with a man so locked tight, maybe because of foreign policy standpoint? But I think you're right. But I think a lot of it is money. It looks like it's money. You know, and you get people like even Margaret Taylor Greene that like made her exit. But I think Margaret Taylor Greene had a bill set up post. Much like I think Jasmine Crockett had some elections. Oh no, she was on a bench. So Margaret Taylor Greene saying this whole pension. And then because she's a Trump contrarian and the blue-hatted America First people, Nick Fuentes, maybe like a week before last week, he's like Mac is dead, the redhead, he's like fat word man. So I'm going to say what Margaret Taylor Greene is going to say. Maybe she's just fucking just be quiet and make it kind of getting her to start that movement. But I understand that they're staying locked up with it. You know that guy, you know that. Michael talking about right now, blue hat. I'm so proud of you.
So I got a theory, right, that the only way, not the only, but one of the ways that the Republicans will impeach Trump is if
It is a loss for Chicago restaurant owners, but the industry says the fight over raises for workers is far from over after City Council fell 4 votes short of a mayoral override.
We want to be sure that we're supporting this coalition because there is an opportunity to get to a compromise. Maybe the administration to stop talking about standing firm and actually get to the table and
Northwest Side Alderman Bill Gates says there will be a round 2 of his effort to freeze Mayor Brandon Johnson's back one fair wage ordinance. The measure gives tip workers a bump in pay over a period of 5 years. Gates former restaurant minister says 20% of Chicago's neighborhood restaurants have gone out of business since the ordinance passed 3 years ago.
I'm worried about our small and independent restaurants and traditional restaurants.
But mayoral supporters say the ordinance restaurants from opening. Northwest Side Alderman Jesse Fuentes led the way to successfully uphold Johnson's veto of the freeze.
It is not a moment to take away pay raises from people when everything around them is more expensive, when the cost of living is going up, and when people are struggling now more than ever. And the mayor says he refuses to back down on his commitment to working people, blames the struggles of small restaurant owners on Trump administration tariffs, not on his progressive policies.
We've seen people organize funded effort to blame rising costs on black and brown workers while seeking to take harmful raises away from the very same workers.
Johnson says it's time to stop pitting workers against restaurant owners, but he appears to stand firm with the ordinance. Progressive Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor says both sides must compromise.
I want tip workers to get paid. I want them to make a living wage. But I also want to see the Soleils and the Virtues and those small businesses eat.
In another city council news today, while Alderman Gil Villegas lost the override vote, he did win his effort to become city council's next zoning committee chairman. At City Hall, Sarah Schulte, ABC 7.
Nice present here. This person too. This person too. Wow, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Grazie mille. You don't go around telling people that they presents, I mean, I want money from them. That's a scam. Don't do it. Scammer. Yeah. Go please. Come, look, video. Smile. Stop scamming people. Stop telling them it's free and then demanding money. You're a scammer.
Is not moving by 35% of their voting block. There's nothing, so we've been talking about this for a while in the room. There's nothing out there that says his actual base is leaving.
Could you share a bit about how you knew Barbara and Tennessee and your reaction to...
Did you see those interviews? His base hasn't gone nowhere.
I agree with the fact that the face, you never gonna lose the face. But what I'm saying is that to win an election, in the way they want to have to put folks on the jobs, all the stuff that we heard on the phone, reds, all the joint secretary, all the things we heard, all those people got to do everything else. Those are vote for Trump. Those are this is the pieces of how it's going to be. That's just what makes them, honest. So, for a fact,
Understanding why interest rates
They don't understand basic economy. They don't understand
There's
civics.
no way
Because they don't understand none of
can be
this.
sold
When their eggs go up
successful
to
now, even before the new tax act, it would be impossible. If I can't sell a house for the amount it's appraised for, I don't know why I should get taxed for it, for sure. We need a house for a third kid.
I'm not gonna take the vibes. I'm not gonna. What I'm saying is,
That's
the problem with the trans women getting pregnant independence are often the other way. Is the fact that they don't understand it. Number two, they don't understand the economy.
Is a person with a
They don't understand. They don't understand why my interest rate went up to 7%. You know why? They got a whole bunch of jobs. Goddamn money out there. So the way the Fed finds on the street. I'm seeing so much money out on the economy is to raise the interest rate. They don't see that. They don't understand that. They didn't understand that their eggs went up to $8 because there was an issue with the birds. Nobody paid, or the chicken. Nobody paid attention to that. This shit. And Obama made it clear when he said, he tried to explain to the people, I know it doesn't feel like we have a great economy. But we have a great economy. When your fucking gas was high, you know why your gas was high? People were going back to work. The war in Ukraine. They see it all period, point blank. And that's they were getting access to people that switched over to that. They're not going nowhere. And that's who these Republicans and Reds to deal with the bees. Those towns have to deal with the bees.
But you're saying that soybean farmers, so farmers basically was going to be farmers. When he did these tariffs, he talked about like the farmer suicides when soybean farmers or whatever. I'm saying the cattle that got sent down the business gets a lot of the people that were in his base, I'm saying that some of these people are feeling the hurt to your point about them being experienced learners because they can't be told something. And we like have this whole thing where like the reading level in this country is like below a 5th grade or below a 6th grade level. So I'm saying we're an ignorant country overall, literacy rate, all that. I'm just saying that he's losing people. The main thing I'm talking about is losing power.
Yeah, but even with those farmers, this ain't their first go around. So the same soybean farmers were on TV crying about they goddamn soybeans the first administration. They came right back and voted again. You know why? Because that's the truth.
So Patty, someone can't come back and commit suicide. So you no, that's not that.
We watched. What do you?
Two English, mommy.
3 years too late.
next year, following 12 years in the Illinois House of Representatives. Harold Washington is a practicing attorney, graduated from Northwestern University's Law School with honors. In his undergraduate work at Roosevelt University, where he was president of his class, and where he is now a lecturer. Senator Washington, we have in these interviews learned some very interesting things, and I hope useful things for our viewers, about the candidates as they grew up in this city, or wherever it was that they grew up. Now, what was your growing up experience in Chicago? How important is it to you now that you're running for mayor?
Oh, there is vitally of my whole life and the way I think and why I run in this thing. I was born in Chicago, County Hospital. And my formative years were spent in the area of 42nd and Calumet, which is next to King Drive, the Phelps Law School. And I spent my entire lifetime within a radius of 2 miles of that place. And I live in 62nd and 2nd.
Our guest tonight, State Senator Harold Washington, 54 years old, born in Chicago. Our guest tonight, State Senator.
Sue anyone.
I lost the endorsement of the Chicago Tribune because I wouldn't say the 2020 election was a done topic.
Illinois Republican candidate for governor Darren Bailey recently moved into an apartment in Chicago. His campaign spokesman confirms to ABC 7 that
he was in Chicago, man.
Illinois Republican candidate.
He didn't even show up to the Cook County GOP committee election tonight at more tits. Bailey for Illinois, impressive Republican leadership. Check. Gonna lose big.
Illinois Republican candidate.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. When I ran for any.
Are you looking?
A takeover is illegal in any circumstances, especially when you are talking about large swaths of the downtown area. A public street cannot be taken over without a permit, which these do not exist. And we are. Have you guys ever seen the Persian tap dance? Let me show you. To be Jewish is not just to endure, it is to rise.
The policies like the no.
We're building portals from which we're genuinely summoning aliens, and Sam has added one in the Middle East. During the Biden administration, Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, we're building. Were you sexually? Quite well.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? Can I call the cops on you? Okay,
So polite.
This is the last interview given by Lyndon Baines Johnson, 36th President of the United States. It was held 10 days before his death at the LBJ Ranch in Texas. The subject was one dear to Mr. Johnson, the towering achievement of his administration, the struggle for civil rights.
A lot of people say if you hadn't had all this civil rights legislation, we never had this problem. We had more to make the people dream of if we hadn't had. If we've had it with it, you can imagine what we had if we had continued to sit on that dynamite keg.
A month before, the president had come to the LBJ Library at the University of Texas in Austin to greet civil rights leaders, black and white, from all over the country. The library held a symposium to mark the opening of the president's civil rights papers. Of the 31 million Johnson papers housed here, 1 million deal with civil rights. This is the last interview.
Thomas, I mean, this is the famous Netanyahu map that everyone talks about in your office. And I guess what is fascinating to me when you look at the scale is how small Israel seems by comparison to the Middle East.
How small it is. I mean, the Middle East starts here, sort of there, on the edge of the wall. That's Morocco. This is Tunisia. This is Libya, which is about 100 times the size of Israel. Egypt, about 40 times the size of Israel. This is the Sinai Desert. Saudi Arabia, God knows how many times. Iraq, Syria, Iran. Want to see Israel there? Here's Israel. My finger covers it. With the West Bank. Everything. It's a tiny country. Tiny, surrounded, so we say living in a very tough neighborhood. Now, if you're small, it's not necessarily a problem. Luxembourg doesn't have a security problem.
Can I ask you a stupid question?
But if Luxembourg was surrounded by the kind of neighborhood that we're surrounded by, well,
Can I ask
that's another matter.
Can I ask what may sound a stupid question? Do you ever wish Israel wasn't there? I wish it had just been stuck near Luxembourg. Would that make life a lot easier for everyone?
Well, it might make our life easier, but it wouldn't materially make the difference. You could stick Belgium in there, and the same thing would happen because the people who want us out, they don't want any Western presence here, and guess what? Increasingly, they don't want any Western presence here either.
In the early 1970s, books started to use phrases like following your dreams, telling kids, go deeply into debt.
Woke up this morning in Springfield and looked at the news, and what do you know? Donald Trump once again is running.
Does your mouth not move? Does your mouth not move because you lie all the time?
Tony said this. Okay. You make a lot of money, do you?
I paid enough for health insurance. I have no equity in OpenAI.
Really? Yeah, that's interesting. You need a lawyer.
I need a what?
You need a lawyer or an agent?
I'm doing this because I love it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Andrew.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Today, when I ran for mayor, I said I was going to.
Exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who is demoralized is unable to assess true information. In fact, tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he's going to receive a kick in his fat ball. When the military boat crashes his balls, then he will understand. But not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So basically, America is stuck with demoralization. And unless, even if you start right now, this minute, you start educating new generation of America, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. Exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who is demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take by force the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he's going to receive a kick in his fat ball. When the military boat crashes his balls, then he will understand. But not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So basically, America is stuck with demoralization. And unless, even if you start right now, this minute, you start educating new generation of America, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. Exposure to true information does not. I looked in your cup this evening.
It's historic. It's crazy because they do such a bad job at their job. We've had 20 chairs in the last 20 years. That was pretty off, and it's almost like parliamentary style. But tonight's the night, and it's always at Varieties for a reason.
Exposure to exposure.
My brother, one thing he knows about me now, he knows that I do anything I could to help my country. My brother.
I looked in your cup. Woke up this morning. Woke up this morning. If you're a small content creator,
Lieutenant, you are only doing you is dying.
Hey, Stephen, I live on the Hobbs Island Road in Huntsville, Alabama. You know who I'm talking about.